I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball.
This for Ryan Klink. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 141. How's everyone doing out there? Hope you enjoyed your week vacation. We are in the dog days of summer. We took last week off. This room last week, Rafa, was just filled to the rim with shit. I did floors and anyways, we're back, everybody. You know, sports is, here and there, but we have a special guest. I'll introduce him in a bit. But first, let's introduce to the right, executive producer, Eddie Money. What up, man?
How we doing?
Where's the doggy?
She's downstairs today. Chilling with the AC.
Today. All right.
Right in front of the AC vent.
All right. We have the guru, the one who knows all. He sees all. He's going to talk shit. Guys, we are a gambling sports podcast, and there's not a ton. There's always a lot to gamble on, right? Love Island.
Fucking degenerate.
Yeah.
Gamble on Love Island?
Yeah,
you can gamble
you
on
missed that on value too.
Ping pong. You can always gamble on ping pong.
Oh,
Yeah, there's always Chinese ping pong.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, that's
But Love Island, that's a new one.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I can't even get into that shit.
I don't watch it. I can't watch it. I don't watch it. My wife puts it on, and I leave to the next room. Like I have my limits on filth. You know, I'm a dirty birdie, but I will not stoop to Love Island. So, but let's look at Eddie. Eddie Money looks dirty. Guilty as charged, Eddie Money. But let's introduce. He's a friend of the show. I think we're going on over 2 years. Not only is he a friend of the show, but he is a friend. We bullshit all the time. Great guy, great family man. I like to call him the most interesting man in the world. Like literally, like he should have a commercial. He does, and we're gonna get into all of that. But let's give a big shout out to Big Vern, the mechanic, Cathey, all the way from Gypsum, Kansas. Yeah, do that again. Yeah,
that's what's going to happen next week on Friday. Everybody, give them the shocker.
Yes, the shocker, guys. If you don't know, Big Vern is the #1 light heavyweight contender. He has a huge rematch against Turp Daddy, very ironic Slim.
Not so slim.
Yeah, not so Slim Daddy, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. It's next Friday, the 18th, free on Rumble.
Nope,
Guys,
it's on YouTube now. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, we switched to YouTube, so it's free on YouTube.
All right.
Dude, that is awesome. I was going to ask you about that because we need to step our game up. It is the most entertaining shit you will ever see. And we had to get Big Vern on before the big match in New Orleans. That's right. New Orleans, which I so badly wanted to attend. Is it at the Caesars, Vern, or just the after
No,
party?
the after party's there. We're at some college, I think, some college venue. I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
Nice. But everybody, listen, Highlander Games can rebuild a Ford engine like a Rubik's Cube in 30 seconds. Is a pilot, is a councilman, builds fences, the baddest fence. If you're in Kansas and you need a fence, this dude, unbelievable. We're gonna get into all the stuff that he does. And like I said, when I say the most interesting man in the planet, he truly is. He's the kind of guy that squeezes the shit out of an orange and gets every drop of juice out of life. That's who you are, Big Vern. I'm wondering.
That's right.
You
get one life, you better live it.
Yeah, and I have a ton of questions about that. But I wonder if you're the guy that does not leave an ounce of toothpaste in the tube. Like you scream at Shannon when she throws away the toothpaste thing because you just get more out of shit. Like, are you that dude?
I'm very yes. I mean, use like shoes. She always gets on me about shoes. Like I'll be at work and the guys are always like, "Man, you should probably get some new shoes, Vern." I'm like, it's fine. Like they I mean, my toes got to be sticking out of them before I'm like getting rid of them when I'm working with them. So yeah, I'm that guy.
That's the guy. Anyways, everyone, let's give Big Vern a hand. Thank you for joining us, Big Vern.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
No, you're the best, and we don't get you on here enough. And Shannon, his wife.
Well, you guys' level of knowledge on sports is like here. Like I'm just, I'm the great average Joe that just I love watching, but like you guys got to give the knowledge to people about what you got to talk about, what you got to bet on. So
now listen, I just present the question to my man over here, the guru. He gives the opinions, and he takes all the shit. I still end up getting shit somehow. You guys don't know ball. I only pose the questions to the guru here. Guys,
don't worry, I got a whole bunch of crap about the last fight with Charles Oliveira. Oh man, trust me. I gave my opinion to some people. They ran with it, and and what I said was, if you're going to bet, because he was the biggest underdog on the card.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, if I was to bet and I was trying to make some money, I'm like, I'd go with Charles just because he is a great fighter. He's knocked out good people. It's not like he had a 0% chance. And then look what happened. Like,
so I was trying
once the fight started, it felt like 0%.
I know, but
right, dude.
But you can't switch in the middle of the go there.
No, you can't. But there is live betting, guys. There is live betting.
Yeah. I hope a lot of people were hitting the button, but I like Charles. Charles is a great guy. I'm not allowed to bet on UFC, but I would have bet on him. It just would have been me.
I was trying to late, and luckily I didn't get it in because I agree with you. I think he's one of the best champions, but that dude's just running through people like, oh my God, it's just crazy.
What I like about him is, his opponent, he is so straight-faced, so just down for business. I mean, you can't. Trapoya, he's just.
Oh my gosh!
There's not a guy in the UFC right now that's more business. He's just business. Like,
oh yeah,
stand him up, knock him down. He's just there for business.
And who's he knocked out anyway? The last 3 knockouts have been just like superstars, like dudes that don't get knocked out. So
the only thing I had a problem with that whole match was even Dana said it. Like, why are you letting people in the cage right after matches? Just let them have their moment. Yeah. Talk about it tomorrow and get on with your life. But like Patty going up there and calling him out, call him out tomorrow. It's not going to change today. But
they knew that was going to happen, though.
I know.
If you're listening to the broadcast, I think I don't know if it was DC who said it or one of the guys said it. He literally said it like 2 fights before that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Patty's gonna fucking challenge him and yada yada yada. So that, and then I know Dana came out afterwards like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have that or whatever. Mm-hmm. Dude, they were talking about that shit 2 fights prior that it was gonna happen. Yeah, and sure enough, it happened.
So, guys, I don't know if you guys know how the show works. There's only one rule that we have on this show. There's some unwritten rules, but one that we try to stick to, and that is do not be a loser. We're going to talk some betting. We're going to give lines out. Just play responsibly. Don't be a jackass. And that's it. That's it. Just don't be a jackass. Don't be a loser. Now, if you guys know how the show works, we always do our first segment called You're Fired or You're Hired. But this time, we have a legit sponsor. I just got to show you guys this real quick. I was just telling Big Vern. And if you guys haven't seen me, I am a complete douchebag influencer now. I'm taking videos and all kinds of stuff. But this thing right here, Nomadic, okay? Nomadic.com. Go look them up. I mean, this bag is a game changer. Kyle from over there, Nomadic, hooked us up, and we just want to say thank you to Nomadic. I'm leaving on vacation. I'll be taking more douchebag influencer pictures tomorrow, so you guys can all make fun of me. But Vern, I got to get you some of this gear, man. It is unbelievably. The hashtag is life on the move, and Vern is definitely that dude. I don't think he stays anywhere for more than 2 weeks.
No, I'm always on the run.
Yeah. So
As soon as I'm there, like I bring like multiple bags too. Like I have bags for like if I'm out walking around and I'm like need to bring this. Like I'm that guy that travels with a decent amount of stuff just because I'm like, oh, I may end up going hiking. I may go down to the beach. I may do this. So like I'm like prepared for like everything. Like I've looked up a bunch of stuff about New Orleans, so I'm getting ready for that. But yeah, just I love stuff like that. So Nomadic, I'm going to definitely check them out.
Any firearms? Any firearms? I heard you might need some firearms in New Orleans. No, just kidding. No, but they have. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the shit. So who wants to start off with you're fired or you're hired? Either one. Anyone have any something to want to get off their chest? Eddie Money, go ahead, Mike.
I have a hiring relating to college football. So we have Dan Lanning. He has been everybody's been giving like Oregon shit about their recruiting, and then
your mic is not working too good. Dan Lanning, head coach of the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah,
huge fan of, by the way. Check 1 2, check 1 2, Eddie Money.
There we go.
There you go, kid. So you're firing Dan Lanning.
Hiring.
Why? Oh, hiring.
So a lot of people were getting on Oregon's case about recruiting this last season. And then this summer, he's just been straight out recruiting on everyone. Like this year so far, he hasn't taken any type of break. Like if you see a bunch of recruits, like top recruits, Dan Lanning is always in like their commitment video or like their picture at their house. So he took their 26 recruiting class from number 37 to number 9 in less than a month. So he's really trying to build that dynasty up in there in Oregon.
Well, you got to win something before you become a dynasty.
It's a great program. Wrong word.
Bro,
my bad.
That guy's so fucking overrated, dude. I fucking hate that dude. That guy's done.
Stop it.
37th to number 9, Rafa.
I don't
I'll tell you what I like about Oregon is their track.
There you go.
Yeah, there you
go. Not the football field.
Yeah, the track team, the women's track team is very good. And even if they're not good, they're very good looking. But other than that, that fucking dude, that fucking guy, he's accomplished less than Chip Kelly there at Oregon. So there's that. And you sit here and fucking wash his sack on this fucking show every fucking 2 months. Dan Lanning. He has one dick, not a fucking thing. He's the Jimbo Fisher of fucking Oregon. That's what he is. Great recruiter, yada, 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 sucks dick. I'm just saying.
You finally said something that actually makes a little bit of sense. The Jimbo Fisher, right? Because he won some national titles as a coordinator, right? I believe
and he was a great recruiter at A&M.
Yeah. Listen, you're at Oregon. You have a plethora, you like that word? A plethora of resources. You have Nike money. You should never be 37. You should never be 37. So I am going to void this hiring, Eddie Money. Okay. Void this hiring. 37 to 9. You know who's number one? And this is someone who Rafa hates even more. USC is number one. Does that make them?
Wow, really?
Yeah. USC's crushing the recruiting trail.
They should always be 1, 2, or 3. USC should always be
number 1.
1, 2, or 3, always. Everybody wants to play there. Everyone wants to go there. And for them to only be winning fucking 8, 9 games is embarrassing.
Now, who are you talking about? USC or
USC.
Okay, well, they're number 1. Listen.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you credit.
This is 2 episodes back to back. My hiring has been denied.
Oh, really?
So you need to start fucking doing some better homework then, obviously, if you're getting fucking denied over here.
Damn.
Dude, I thought that was the first void I've ever given out.
No. You've denied him a handful of times already.
The other time was the NFL football kits.
Of course. Those were fucking awful.
Those are awful.
Those look like they were fucking being sold at a Santa Fe fucking swap meet.
The Santa Fe big swap.
Yes.
Did you see those Big Vern? NFL came out with soccer jerseys, but they were god awful. God awful.
Terrible.
Just terrible.
Just terrible.
Terrible. Who's next? Sorry about that, Eddie Money, but that's a legit void. Am I wrong on this, Rafa?
No, 100%. Dude. Anything Dan Lanning for me?
No. I'm not saying that.
Trash.
That. But don't give him credit for being 37th in the country. They have more.
We're going 37 to 9th with all the money on the fucking planet.
You gotta put in work. He put in some work, man.
Bro, there's no need to go to work. There's no need. Phil Knight, hey, I need
Phil Knight.
10 million, 15 million to get fucking these guys. Bro, are you kidding? I'm at their house fucking in fucking January. As soon as, because he he don't win national titles, so he's never playing late in January. So that's it. You can even
January we're there. January.
Christmas break. Christmas break, he can show up because he might play on New Year's Day, but after that motherfucker's done.
Bro,
I feel like he didn't prep for the Rose Bowl.
He did not at all. I bought my house. Yeah, there.
You were there. You go to Phil Knight's house. You go through his couch. You're gonna find 15 million, man, in small bills. Come on,
exactly.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I do this. That's why I do his cleaning.
You need to come up with that.
If you're doing his cleaning and then you're still doing our podcast, fuck.
Yeah.
You're tight with cash, then fucking hey.
All right, who's up with the next hiring or firing? Brought to you by Nomadic Life on the Move. Who's next?
I'll go ahead. I want to fire Real Madrid. Dude, they didn't look good in this Club World Cup. I know they made it to the semifinal. They made it to the semifinal based on fucking the talent that they have. They got absolutely dominated today by PSG. Full roster out there, basically. They had Mbappe out there and all that. To me, I still believe that Mbappe is an issue with that front line.
Yeah.
Like, to me, he doesn't vibe with them. Is this man ever going to – because he went to a roster. He went to arguably we can say is the best football franchise on the planet and ever probably, right?
100%.
They're
legit.
They're right there. It's like the Yankees and them basically is domination since fucking their birth, right? This man came onto this team. You're thinking, fuck, he's already won a World Cup. He's won league titles in France. Now possible league titles in Spain, some Champions League. He could be considered one of the greatest of all time. They haven't been what they should be. And so for them to get their ass whooped today 4-0, he did absolutely nothing. I know he came in the other day in the quarterfinal game and scored a goal and yada, yada, yada. To me, there's an issue there, and it wouldn't shock me if they moved on from him in the next 2 years if they don't win a Champions League title.
No, I 100% agree. At this point, is Mbappe, can we put maybe overrated tag? Did he get crowned?
Oh, no.
I'm serious. He hasn't really shined at Real Madrid since he's gotten there.
No, he's shined in his moments, but they're not translating to wins in crucial games. It doesn't translate. When you watch them play, him and Vinicius, like it doesn't gel like the way Vinicius gels with other players.
Uh-huh.
And, I don't know if Vinny's a problem because when he plays on the Brazilian squad, it doesn't look great. Do they have too many, net-minded players as far as they want to score? Mm-hmm. When you have Vinny and you have Mbappe and you have Rodrigo, you have like a bunch of guys that are net-minded. You need to dump one. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. It just doesn't seem – I think it was going to be like Benzema and Ronaldo when they had them in their prime.
Benzema.
And it's not fucking that. And then for him to lose to PSG today, PSG won the Champions League without him. And without him, they won the Champions League.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. That is valid as F. That's a stamp of approval. Big Vern, Mr. Cathey, do you have a hiring or a firing that
Honestly, like I told you, I wasn't overly prepared for this. I've been watching track and field, been doing watching some other sports, but I haven't really seen anything that I want to hire or fire in that aspect. So yeah, no, I don't have anyone right now.
Look at you. Look at you staying focused. 2 weeks away. Friday night, July 18th in New Orleans. PowerSlap 14. My man, heavyweight contender, big bout. Good job. You don't want to put any bulletin board material out there, Vern. Any firings or hiring. So that's a great job. Way to stay. That's the city councilman in you.
It is hard being on the council, yeah. So I'm always dealing with that. So yeah, life's crazy.
So listen, guys, I told you I gave you a little introduction of Big Vern, one of my favorite people on the planet. He never ceases to amaze me. I did a little post a couple weeks ago. A good buddy of mine. He has a online butcher shop, bestbutchershop.com. And Big Vern reaches out, because I got a bunch of Wagyu. I didn't know. We're having Wagyu dogs and potatoes again tonight, Big Vern. I bought a lot of Wagyu dogs, and they're very good. But Big Vern reaches out to me and says, "Oh, have you had Berkshire hogs?" I'm like, "I've heard of them. It's like the Wagyu of pork." Oh, wait, I raised those. I was like, does not shock me. So let me get into my hiring. I want to hire Big Vern, the mechanic Cathey from Gibson, Kansas. Just because, dude, you are inspiration, Big Vern. Like I said earlier, like there's so much shit that you do. Like when people ask, say something that people don't know about you, you could talk for an hour because you've done so much crazy shit in your life. So
it's crazy. Yeah. It's hard to explain. Like I was actually talking to my wife the other day about it, and I think I'm gonna make like a board, like a big poster for like my grandkids and my kids. It's like what Vern has done in his life, and you can it'll just have checkoffs by the side, and you can put your name and see if you can catch up to Vern. Because there's just I never really thought about it until people say it. It's like, wow, it's like, but also sometimes I get that people that are like, oh, you're full of shit. I'm like, well, no, I've done it. Like, it's not like, okay, like, sorry that you couldn't do it, but I did it.
Yeah.
So I run into that a lot, but it's, I've always wanted to try everything, and if that's like learning to fly or, going 200 mile an hour on a motorcycle or, just things like that. Like I just love to do things that other people can't. And that's why, like, I did PowerSlap. People are like, oh, why'd you do it? And I'm like, because you won't do it. That had nothing to do with like, oh, I think it's cool or anything like that. I did it because I knew 99% of the world will never do it. So,
yeah. And you're a pioneer. I mean, 2-3 months ago, Big Vern sending me a text with a picture of an airplane. He's like, don't tell Shannon, but I'm going to go to Florida and get this airplane. I'm like, are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, like, don't tell anybody. I'm like, who the fuck am I going to tell that you're buying a fucking airplane? You're going to put it together and want to fly all over the place. By the way, has she nuzzled up? Is she getting a little more excited about you just taking off and traveling the country whenever you want in your airplane?
She's okay with it. She knows that I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I ended up not buying the one in Florida. I bought one in Talladega. So it's back here at the house or back here at the airport. That was a whole crazy experience in itself because I ended up doing some stuff for NASCAR. So that was a crazy weekend. I was at the Talladega Speedway doing that stuff that weekend. So my life just like snowballs into different things all the time.
Yeah, I saw you. You're on a pit crew, were you not?
Yep. Yeah. And it's actually funny because there's a lot of athletes that are transitioning into different sports. And it's crazy because people, as soon as I did it, I was like, these are athletes. I never did it. I have a friend that has a NASCAR crew, and, it's actually a Maple Motorsports. They're the ones that sponsor him. And it was, yeah, I mean, good old Maple Motorsports. I did pit crew for them 2 times, but like it's little things you don't think about, like the fuel jug. Like I was the fuel man for the race. That fuel jug weighs like almost 100 pounds, and you're holding it above your head, and you're running with it. It has to be pretty precise. Like everyone thinks, oh, you just shove it on there. No, it's a coupler. It's like a hydraulic coupler. There's O-rings and seals, and I mean it's got to be butted up close. And then you're wearing a complete fire suit, helmet, head, neck, like everything. So if it's 100 degrees outside and you're on the asphalt and it's 140, I mean you're just baking in this thing, and you're going over the wall. You got 10 seconds. You got to get this done. I mean, it was quite the experience. And after doing that, anyone that thinks that a NASCAR pit crew are not athletes, they're more an athlete than I ever will be. It was nuts.
They couldn't give you an easier job than the fuel guy. I feel like you should
The
be
only
like
one who could carry the tank. I feel like.
So that was the deal. He's like, it was seriously my friend. He's like, hey Vern, he's like, we need you to do the fuel. Jeremy Petty's his name, Petty Enterprise, and he races for them and does stuff. And literally he's all like, hey Vern, he's like, you think you can do the fuel? And in the back of my head too, I wasn't thinking of how many gallons it was, and you got to do 2 of them. If you get the one full and you got to put the other one in, there's 2. So, I mean, I look over at the guy that's normally there and I'm like, oh, that's why I'm carrying the fuel, because I can carry it. That guy's not gonna be able to carry it. It was great. I came to the rescue. I didn't mess up, and it was good. So yeah, athletes, pit crew are athletes.
Yeah, in Charlotte they have a whole thing. I think that's like headquarters for NASCAR. A lot of like football teams, basketball teams, my son wrestling team, they went down there and they learned how to compete. It's a orchestra, right? It's there's a whole freaking, my son said it was
nuts.
Freaking awesome.
It's nuts.
So Vern, let's we're gonna get into PowerSlap 14, but like I said, I'm so curious about your life and what you see next. I know for a fact that you want that light heavyweight belt, and that you're laser focused on that. But you're so well spoken. You're a great interview. Is it PowerSlap commentating? Is it NASCAR crew? Is it Delta fucking pilot? What raising Berkshire hogs? What's on the horizon for you, man? Like what's beyond PowerSlap?
So what I'm doing, I got a pretty big goal this year. We have the rental properties, my wife does, and remodeling those. So we're transitioning from a couple of those into another property. I can't really divulge everything about it, but my life is we're going to kind of make our life bigger. But honestly, it's just finding the best way to live good and be sustainable. I don't want to sound like a hippie, but I grew up on a farm, and I just like raising the hogs. Like when you're getting the meat and stuff, I was like, oh, it's like a guy down the road from us raises Wagyu, and my buddy does barbecue competitions. So I was like, okay, I'll just raise the hogs. But I just want my life to be interesting, and if that's commentating for PowerSlap, or doing a whole YouTube page on my next venture in life. I want the world to see that you don't have to be the guy on the couch just watching TV every night. You can take 4 or 5 hours out of your day and just work hard and get something done. So that's where I'm going. It's going to be a transition to a new part of my life, and I hope PowerSlap's involved in it.
Nice. Rafa, I'm hogging the mic. What do you got for our man over here?
I want to know, when you put the fuck to Terp on next Friday, is Wolverine right after that? Is that the next match right after that?
Honestly, I don't think it is. I want it to be, but I'm a businessman and I understand how it works. So I'm gonna put Turpin down, and then I feel they're gonna test me again, and I'll probably have to go against Alan or Luke. Mm-hmm. And then if as long as Wolverine wins a clean match, the next one I'll go against him, because it's all about numbers. It's about business, and for me, it's just they're gonna want they want matches that are like can he do it? Can he do it? So we're trying to build up into it. So I have a feeling I won't get that rematch unless I win the next two, and they'll be my third one. So I'm hoping I win. I am going to win this one, and then October. So October, and I bet there's going to be one in December. So if all goes well, I bet we'll have a big one, Super Bowl weekend or something in Vegas, and that's going to be my plan, because they always, that whole town, now that they've figured it out, and I mean, sports is so big. I know it's going to be in Vegas, so that would be my goal. My ultimate goal is to win the next two and get another match against Wolverine or whoever the title holder is, whoever it is. I want a chance at it again.
That's
Now,
awesome.
are you guys is the match at what's the weight going to be?
Oh, the weight. That's great. That's great you ask.
Interesting.
So I don't think, I think they're just wanting to have a good match. So they didn't want to have, worry about him not making weight, because I always make weight. So we discussed, and we discussed, and we're having it at 225. So it's going to be an all benefit for me. I'm not going to cut weight. I'm going to be hydrated. I'm going to be well fed. And I'm never nervous. So it's going to be good. I think this will be the best I will be in a competition.
So sorry to interrupt you, Rafa, but to me, that's bullshit. That is a cop out. Listen, he hasn't made weight the last 3 matches.
Yep.
You are the pros pro, right? And I know you're gonna feel good, but that is part of the process. I'm kind of shocked that Dana must really want to see this to be allowing this.
It's the people's match. I mean,
it is
the people on the internet, they want to see it. People are going there because of Turpin. I have a great fan following because they're like, I'm a relatable guy. I'm the guy that you see on a construction crew, or everyone knows that guy, and I'm that guy. So I have a fan base that's great. He has a fan base of the loudmouth talking WWE type of guy. So they just want to have good numbers, and that was the best way to do it, is to make sure our match happened. And I agreed 225, whatever, I'll do it. If they would have said 185, I would have done it. I don't care.
That just
now that he's not coming in at 225, right?
Oh my God! Yeah, what if he doesn't make 225?
He's not making 225.
You're right, Rafa.
Technically, it's a what do they call that? It's
no contest.
No, it's not that. It's a heavyweight match, but it's a God. What are they? There's a name for it. I can't forget. I keep on forgetting what it's
not expedite. I know what you're thinking of. It's
basically like a show up and whatever the fuck you want.
It's a catch weight.
It's a catch weight.
It's a catch weight. So
it's kind of all sorts of weights.
And it's kind of a gentleman's agreement. We agreed on 225, so that's what's going to be. But technically, in the rules, he can weigh 265, and
of course he will.
Oh my God!
Of course he will. He's literally stuffing his face with double cheeseburgers at this very moment.
Yeah, you should send him.
But he has everything on the line. They're not gonna. I mean, they're not gonna mess around. He fucks up this time, and he's done.
Yeah.
I'm professional, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm the guy that they're like, okay, Vern will make it, Vern will do it, but they just need that great internet following, and they need the world to be like, oh, we got to watch this guy. So I see what they're doing, but I'm not all the way for it.
Let's say you lose this match.
Mm-hmm.
This match shouldn't affect your rankings in the light heavyweight, right?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, and if I win this one, this will technically be the 3rd time I fought in heavyweight. So I should get a heavyweight ranking. I should be dual ranked, if you think about it. Because Delvin didn't make weight. Turpin didn't make weight the last time. This one's at heavyweight. So, throw a brother number 5. Keep me in the top 5. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Listen, and anyone out there on YouTube right now, we're live on Instagram. If you guys have questions, we've asked him. There's so many things to ask Big Vern. But if you have a question for Big Vern, please let us know. We'll ask him. There you go, double division chat. There you go. I love it. I love it in the comments.
I'll tell you, that would be one hard division, like both the 205 and the light heavyweight and the heavyweight. To me, it's just like UFC and anything else. I mean, there's always going to be monsters that are at the top. That's why they're at the top. But man, it's a sport of just pure grit, and I love that the guys that are at the top are doing well.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome, man. So this is the first time that it's being in. I know you guys are sanctioned in Hawaii now. I think obviously sanctioned in Vegas, Florida, now New Orleans,
Texas.
Yeah. What's up? Is Shannon, your beautiful wife, going to New Orleans with you?
Yep, she's going. She didn't go with me to Saudi Arabia because, I mean, nothing against that country. They did a great job. They hosted me. They were really nice. There's just some cultural differences, so she didn't go to Saudi Arabia. But yeah, no, I'm excited about it. It's just, and I think New Orleans, that's our fan base. That town is rowdy. They're going to have fun. I mean, we go on Bourbon Street. I mean, we're right on Bourbon Street. The hotel's right on Bourbon Street. So, that's what we need. We need fan base like that. We need to go places where they're like, hell yeah, let's get this. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I always equate going to watch PowerSlap. You could go to a UFC event and see 4 duds. You could go to a baseball game and see a 1-0 game. Going to a PowerSlap event, and especially live, it's almost like going to a home run derby.
That's right. It is. Yep.
You are going to see action. You are going to get your money's worth. The vibe and the people. It's like I talked about it with Rafa. Influencers on social media, they flock to it. I don't know why that is.
Oh, the who's there. The who's are there. No ifs, ands, or about. They're there, and it's PowerSlap's great. We're a corporation with UFC, so if you're there. The next night, there's UFC. 99.9% of the time, there's going to be a UFC event afterwards.
Yeah.
So you can come see our show, and our show's like pow, like it's running. The clock's running.
Yeah.
You're just in and out. But also, at that being said, it's like you can chat with your friends, you can check it, you can drink, you can have a good time, and then you're like, you got to focus for 3 to 5 minutes, like on this match. And then you go to the next one. So if you want to drink and have a good time and you have ADHD and you can only focus for a little while, PowerSlap's your sport because it's gonna be on, intense, and going.
Yeah. So we went to the first bout when you sat Slim Turp Daddy down. Eddie Money, you remember? I'm an old fart. I'm not a part of this influencer craze. But we just saw. Oh, who do we see that? Oh, this is like
we saw Sneeko. We got in his stream for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like this guy has 10 million followers. I've never seen him before, but it was like one after another that you guys recognized and knew. The vibe is incredible.
My kids. My kids were like, they're like, oh, you saw Travis Scott? I'm like, I didn't know who Travis Scott was. And they're like, really, Dad? I'm like, he seemed like a great guy. Yeah.
That's freaking wild. Any questions, Eddie Money? You have?
Yeah, Vern, since you're at a different weight this time, did you train any differently for it? Especially considering since you beat him last time.
Honestly, I just made sure I was gaining weight properly. So I still have like a layer of fluff on me, obviously, because I'm at 225, but with work and building stuff. And I did as much as I could to strengthen my back and my arms. I mean, when you see me weigh in, I'll probably wear a tight shirt just to be a smart ass because my shoulders, I mean, you can see my traps right here.
Oh, yeah. Look at that, baby.
I mean, they're there and
bang, bang.
But my arms are bigger. Everything's bigger. So I'm coming in this hot. I'm when they told me 225, I was like, let's try to make this a mistake for them.
Yeah. So what do you normally walk? I know you cut like close to 25, 30 pounds when you go to 185. What are you usually cruising around at in gypsum?
225. That's what I normally walk around at. But I'm not like I'm never able to gain mass, because there's a point where like I love to eat. I mean, obviously the barbecue and all that. So there's a point where like I can't maintain the weight. Like if I was to work out hard and be 205, I can't do that anymore. In my 20s, I loved it. Go in the gym all the time and just be jacked and low percent body fat. And no, I'd rather be a nice fluffy 225 that I can cut down to 205. And so, but this one, when they told me that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pump a little bit. I'm gonna work a little harder just to get that size. My arms are way bigger than they were the last two matches.
We have Live a Dream Melrose. He asks, what kind of training do you do for PowerSlap?
It's to me, I do a lot of footwork and stretching and just focusing on where to hit someone. Obviously, I missed on Wolverine, but that's a controversy in itself with his beard.
Yeah.
But no, it's just all about placement and all about like your rotation and everything. And I bring this up multiple times. It's to me, I compare it to track events. Like honestly, it's like fronting a disc. Like when you're in the ring and you're just like, okay, and you do a torsion and you front the disc. Like that's what I do. I got a few things that I'll throw, and it's all about like the torsional,
Yeah.
So I focus more on honestly just delivering the hit. On taking a hit, you just have to be tough. Like you have to be able to not flinch, and it's just that's how it is.
So people are still, although it's catching on, it's growing like wildfire. People don't understand. There's many little rules and stipulations. Clubbing, you cannot lift up your feet. So I get what you're saying. Like to be able to stretch your hips and to wind up as far as you can without lifting a foot, that's skill. There's plenty of technique and skill involved. And Vern is one of I think he has one of the highest percentage of knockout rates in the history of PowerSlap. And if I'm not mistaken, he still might be the only, at least higher ranked competitor without a fault in a competition.
I have no penalties. And don't get me wrong. Like the refs have talked to me and they're like, hey, you go any higher, it's going to be a penalty. Yeah. But I equate that to baseball. I mean, if you know where the lines are at, and you know where the ump's calling the strike at, you put that fucker right on the edge. Whatever, who cares? That's how everyone wins any sport, is being on the edge. You cannot be like, oh, I'm just going to be middle of the road. And no, it just doesn't work. Middle of the road doesn't work. You have to be on the edge no matter what. So I train to be as close as I can without fouling.
Yeah.
I have a question. I feel like every time like I watch PowerSlap, they're really like lackadaisical on the flinching call. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel like almost there's a lot of fights or a lot of like fighters that
I don't
like flinch like that.
I don't disagree. It's how it affects the hit. And it's still growing. It's still, I mean, I know we're 14 matches in, but every time we have rules meeting because it's like, hey, we're tweaking this, we're tweaking that, and we're going to be looking for this. So it's no different than any other sport. I mean, you go into a meeting and they're like, hey, like we're cracking down on this pass interference when you're getting a little everyone always, the refs always, no matter what anyone says, they're going to give you a hint about what's going on, about what they're going to do and what they want to crack down on. Otherwise, they wouldn't be changing the rules.
Yeah.
So I just think that, I look at it as like, Tom Brady, obviously he knew everything about every play, what he was going to do. He studied film. There's no difference between studying refs and any sport. Like, and that's my biggest, and I'll bring it back to baseball. That's my biggest beef about having the digital and the camera involved in the strike zone. I hate that. I hate it. Because I think that the refs, if they're calling that ball a little outside every time, as long as they're consistent on it, that's where it's at.
Thank
So
you,
that's
Vern.
what I
Don't get Rafa started on this fucking
thank you.
conversation, Bird.
Thank you.
You woke
Vern.
Rafa's
The
baseball up.
thing is that most of these fucking morons that have never fucking played,
yeah.
right? They sit there and oh my God, that was a strike. Look, the umpire missed it. The umpires missed that call all night long.
And it's the
Literally.
same call every time.
Same call every time. They're always consistent.
And that's what I think. That's what I think about any sport. As long and that's what I like about baseball and the umpires, and when they had the complete say, is because it made the game interesting. Because okay, if so and so liked the ball outside all the time and they called it a little outside, okay, it is what it is. But if he hates the inside and the ump's calling like inside strikes, that makes him adjust. And I think it gives a different level of the game. And I think that's what you need to do in any sport. It's like, okay, this ref is like, all right, you better not do this. All right, I don't do this. So it makes you adjust as an athlete. So that's what I do. I adjust as an athlete.
The thing is, they're so spoiled. All these
they're
people
so spoiled. They're so spoiled.
They're so spoiled because there's so many cameras now at every sporting event. Like basketball is the other one. Oh, this and that, bro. You didn't watch 82 fucking games 25 years ago. So now you see all these. Like, you're gonna tell me with this new strike zone. Let's say MLB eventually goes to the stupid ass robot, which I don't think they should. But if they did, a pitcher like Greg Maddux, who painted corners for fucking 15 years, was one
and
of
that
the
guy
best
knew every
pitchers
umpire.
ever.
That guy knew every umpire.
Dude, you're taking that advantage away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's stupid. Like if we really analyzed the NFL and watched every play, and you had just 5 fucking cameras focused on the offensive lineman, there's going to be a holding every fucking
single
time.
play.
Every play.
Every play.
And
every
it's,
play.
It's, to me, I can't stand that shit. Like I hate the reviews down at second base because the rule was if the ball beats you down there, you're fucking out. I don't want to see you slide and do all sorts of stupid shit. You look like a fucking idiot. All right, you were out. The ball beats you there, you're fucking out. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You jump over the tag, fine. But you're sitting here fucking trying to swim move the shortstop or the second baseman taking the throw down. I don't like it. Neighborhood play on a double play and a ground ball to the middle of the infield or a ground ball to third. The neighborhood play at second base, you're out. You're out. Oh, no, let's review it. Fuck, man. I can't stand it. But anyway, let me real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, because I wanted to ask this. I wanted to ask Big Vern. The last time that Terp got into the ring, basically, or on the mat with you there, was it the last time he was in there was the time you whooped his ass, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. I wanted to make sure. I didn't remember. I thought the last time he was in there was the time you whooped his ass, and Eddie and I witnessed. We all.
Yeah, we were all there.
We were all there to witness that ass whooping. So this will be the first time that Bitch Slim is back in the ring on the mat there with you.
Yeah. Yep. So we're, stepping back in for an ass kicking. So, more props to him, but he knows what's coming. But
oh yeah,
we got 2 questions from Live a Dream Melrose from Instagram. He asks, what do you need to do to get into PowerSlap? So I guess if you're just now watching it and you want to get into the sport and maybe compete, how would you do that? And also, is there an age limit in PowerSlap?
Like which limit, high or low?
I would hope a higher, not a lower limit.
You gotta have big balls to start off with. You have to have big balls.
You got to have balls.
100%.
Honestly, some MMA background or something, but honestly, you got to contact PowerSlap. Go on PowerSlap.com. There's a way you can contact them, and they're going to vet people and see what they can do. But the more you can bring to the table for the organization, will help. But age limit, you have to be 21, and obviously there's no top because I'm just kicking ass and taking names. So it is what it is.
Yee. I love it. Zero Cool's in the chat. What's up, Zero Cool? It's been a long time. Zero Cool is at the Dodger game for Kershaw 3000. That's another dude. and Kershaw's my dude, big Dodger fan, but Kershaw has 100% taken advantage of getting those neighborhood strikes on the outside corner. I mean,
100%. That's
So,
what
like,
good
I want to go on this like Rafa was going on it. So, and it's funny, and I'm going to bring back me being on the city council. Everyone's always like, oh, everyone's bitching now. They're bitching. They say this on the internet. The reason why they say it is because 20 years ago, you didn't have a phone in your hand that you could just type whatever you wanted, nilly-willy, and just send it out to the world.
yeah.
And in that same aspect, like he said, we have 30 cameras watching this event where everyone's like, oh man, I don't know how he didn't see that. Every time I have a hard time watching football games with people because they're like, oh, I can't believe he didn't see that guy down the field. I'm all like, well, maybe they should put a camera right on the center of the damn quarterback's helmet, and you tell me if you saw him down the field.
Yeah. Or leave his mic on throughout the play so the offensive coordinator can fucking literally yell at him.
Yeah. It's there's so many couch coaches now. There's so many couch coaches that just, and I'll say it too. I'll say something. I'm like, well, I'm going to do my couch coach thing and I'll make my rant. But honestly, they're ruining baseball. They're ruining it. And it's upsetting me. And the fact that I get the pitch clock, I get it. But then the batters, they're abusing it because they're like, oh, I'm not going to get into the batter's box until this time, and then we're going to stretch this out. We're going to get a pitch clock violation. This rule, all it did was make the ability to mess with the pitcher enough to just throw the game off.
Yeah. They
wanted the game to be fast, but now they're just like, let me look at it in college. They're waiting, like everyone's waiting. The times are, no one. I honestly think if you step in that fucking batter's box, that dude can just throw whenever he wants. I'm tired of them like putting their hand up and like, oh wait, time. Like wait. My son was in Little League, my stepson Bennett, and I don't know how many times I saw kids when they get to a base, they put their hand up for timeout. Like, oh, I got to get up. No, you need to learn how to put your foot on the bag, how to put your hand, how to get up while staying on the bag. And it's the same thing that's progressing through Major League Baseball is they're learning how to do things that are just, they're getting bad habits all because of these new rules and stupid stuff like, to throw to second base. Oh, you can't put your glove in front of the base and you can't do this. And it's all like, why? You beat the ball. The ball was, you beat them, or they didn't beat the ball. So I don't know. All the camera angles are annoying me.
These kids have to take off 37 guards when they get to their base. And
I refuse to get him a sliding glove. Like I refuse that. I didn't buy him a fancy baseball bat because I told him, I was like, hey, start hitting better. We'll figure it out. But they see all this stuff on TV and everything's such a money grab. And, oh, we're getting this, millions of this. I mean, the next 10 years, I don't know where sports are going to be. I mean, it's just, the money is just, and as money gets involved, it just makes everything tighter. But yeah, these kids, these Little League kids, it's nuts, man. They got their pit vipers on. They got their mullets going. They got a baseball bat that looks like a pencil. They got a sliding glove. I'm waiting for them to look like Barry Bonds next year, where they're all like padded up from one side down to the other. It's nuts. It's not what it was when I was playing.
I'll defend one thing. I'll defend actually two things. I'll defend two things. I'll defend the elbow guard. Okay, I will defend.
Okay.
And the sliding mitt, and I'll tell you why. Because 2 years ago, my son, and this is metal, so it's obviously different in a high school game. Line drive to the shortstop, he dives back to the bag at second base. Second baseman comes across, takes the throw, and he gets cleated right on top of the hand where he had to get stitches. So the sliding mitt for that I think is okay. But you see some of these kids that have both, and that's excessive. The shin guard, I think that's a little much.
So guys, let's transition since we're talking about baseball.
Real quick. Little Dream Miller was still posing Vern some questions. He asked, oh, and by the way, he said, "Man, I love Vernon. He loves your thought process about sports. You just got a new fan."
Nice.
He wants to know your thoughts on interviewing athletes during the game.
Interviewing athletes during the game, I absolutely hate it. I ran into an issue when I was in high school. A lot of people don't know this. I was one of the top ranked sprinters in the state of Kansas, and it was regionals. And they were trying to interview me in the middle of the track meet, and I kept on telling them no. I got to focus. Kept on telling them no. I got to focus. And it turned out bad for me. Like the next year, they just thought I was a jerk, so they didn't publish some stuff. But on that aspect too, it's just like when Joe Rogan interviewed Daniel Cormier during the match, like after the match when he got knocked out. Like, we're here to watch the sport, and I understand you want to like engage, but also at the same time, like they're getting paid. It's a job. Like it's no different than if you're pouring concrete or anything like that. Like, don't go over there and talk to the guy. Let him get his job done and have the interview afterwards. So I don't agree with interviewing athletes during the game or any sport whatsoever.
I love it. Since we're talking about baseball, let's get into, like I said, this is the dog days of summer, man. We have baseball. We had the Midsummer Classic coming up, the All-Star Game. I think Wimbledon's going on. We have UFC. We have PowerSlap. Not a lot of things. But, if you don't know, the Dodgers now have lost 6 games in a row, right? They went to extra innings today. Ohtani 0 for 3, Mookie 0 for 4, Freddie 0 for 4, and they still went into extras. Was on my way to work this morning and heard an interesting interview on the Dan Patrick Show with John Smoltz. Smoltz, the Hall of Famer, right, Rafa?
I believe so.
Hall of Famer. He was part of that amazing trio. It was 4 of them, right? You have Avery, you had Glavine, and you had Maddox in Atlanta. Smoltz was one. They moved Smoltz to the back end and was a closer. And just real quick, Dan Patrick tried to reiterate that. Don't you think that Shohei Ohtani should move into the closing spot to maybe cause less elbow strain? And
we talked about that the other day, by the way, Eddie.
Yeah, I know. It's completely, and Smoltz kind of slapped him in the face like a power slap and said, and literally embarrassed Dan Patrick. He's like, well, I guess if you're going to talk sense, then I guess I can't bring it up. But what I thought was interesting is that Smoltz said, by the way, it's being a closer created more stress on John Smoltz's elbow. I thought this was something very interesting. He said that in one season, he had gotten up to warm up during a game 125 times, which, when you're warming up, you got to get lathered up. You got to get going. He only went into 73 games. So, we need to put this thing to bed, as guess what I'm trying to say is that being a closer does not create less stress on shoulders and elbows. It might create more because starters have their routine every 5 days, every 6 days. You rest on the 3rd day, you might throw a long ball. But I just love what Smoltz said and really shut that whole thing up. I know we talked about it, Rafa. You said it also doesn't make sense. Where's he going to warm up if he's batting in the 8th? If he's the last batter?
Take today's game. Game.
Yeah.
Today's game, they blow a save, right? But if today's game, Ohtani hits in the top of the 9th today. So imagine if he has to come in the bottom of the 9th, when the fuck is he going to warm up? So Smoltz is an idiot, and Dan Patrick is a bigger fucking idiot for even bringing it up.
No. Smoltz did not bring it up. He shut him down.
Well, Smoltz shut it down, but Smoltz should have gone with that first. But Dan
Patrick, he said that. No, Smoltz.
Moron is what he
is. So Smoltz, when Smoltz was talking about this, like, I get what he's saying, but I mean, there's a stat on everything. do they have like pitch counts for how many? Like, surely there's someone that's like, oh, he threw X amount of pitches warming up.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, 100%.
Because that's my thing too, and like I agree with them on that. Because like when they're warming up, they're not. There's no pitch clock back there. They're cranking them down there. I mean, they're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, but I agree with you guys. Like, if he's batting and he's supposed to do this, like, what? Okay, sorry guys, we're gonna take some time off the game right here, and we're gonna go warm him up real quick, and then we're gonna get back out there. Like, come on.
Yeah, imagine today, 2-1 ball game. You're only up 2-1 going into the ninth, and Otani. What? Oh no, wait! I gotta go and warm up Otani. So I'm gonna
hold on a second. We got to get.
What are you out of your fucking mind? He's the only guy who can hit on the fucking teams most of the time.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
No, that situation is not going to work with Otani. It's just he's too good a hitter and he's too good a pitcher. It's just it's just not going to work for him to be a closer.
Here's another thing that he said that I found very interesting because he's obviously covered him a lot and done a lot of games. John Smoltz, who I respect, and by the way, amazing golfer. He said that if Otani was to strictly concentrate on pitching, that he would be the best pitcher in baseball every year. And well, he brought up some very good points. He said this guy, it's so hard what he's doing, right? And he's pitching well. He's obviously one of the best hitters in the league. Imagine only having to concentrate on one. Because last year, he only had to concentrate on hitting. But what did he do last year? He stole 53, 54, bases. I mean, I'm just saying. Why do you call bullshit, Rafa?
Bro, you can assume something like that, but in reality, he's never been a full-time pitcher, ever. Like,
the Angels?
Only done that. No, only done that.
Yeah, he's too good of a hitter to just only be the pitcher. Like,
right, but even then, if you only asked him to pitch, he hasn't. For example, take Paul Skeens, right? Who's the best pitcher in baseball right now? That guy's only been pitching for the last 6 years. You'd need to go back and have Otani only from here on out. If you said Otani is only going to pitch, there's no way he's going to be the best because he hasn't full-time pitched. I'm talking about full-time, 40 starts. 37 starts. He hasn't. I don't even think
Eddie Money. Can you see how many starts he's had with the Angels? I mean, come on.
I think the most he's had is like 25. But even if you go back to Japan, I understand he's a phenomenal pitcher. He's a very good pitcher. I just don't think if he concentrated on only that, he doesn't have overwhelming. He doesn't have that wow stuff of being the best pitcher in baseball every fucking year.
Come on, Ralph. I think you are underestimating.
I'm not. Who's the best pitcher in baseball? Can you say for 5 years in a row? Because he said every year. What pitcher in baseball can you remember that has been the best pitcher every year for 5 years? Just 5, not 10. Just 5.
I'm going to say maybe
every
Roger
year.
Clemens.
Every year. Steroid Roger Clemens in Houston.
Oh, every year? Like the best pitcher every year?
Every year.
Greg Maddux.
Oh, that's a good
Randy
one.
Johnson was in his prime right there. I don't know about every year.
Who won the MVP pitcher? How many years in a row did he win?
The Cy Young?
Yeah, look up Greg Maddux stats. There's not a better pitcher than that guy.
Oh, I don't know. He was phenomenal, yes.
The only reason why you doubt Greg is because he didn't have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
I don't doubt Greg. I like Pedro a little more.
Pedro's great. Yes, he's up there.
I just like Pedro a little more. I like Randy Johnson a little more. I think that slider was a little bit more unhittable than.
But I agree with you. I don't think Otani will ever compare to those three guys that we just mentioned.
Yeah, and for you to say he would be the best pitcher in baseball every year, I think it's kind of an outrageous because it's hard to be the best pitcher in baseball every year. Yes, we know he's super talented and he's great, but this year he's hitting 279. We still think he's the best baseball player on the planet.
Listen. No, it's
he brought up, he did bring up that Otani and Aaron Judge are starting to reach the levels of Barry Bonds.
That'll never happen. That'll never happen.
Well, listen.
I don't know if Otani gets walked with the bases loaded.
Well, here's the thing, and this is how he explained it. He's like, they influence the game and make other they influence pitchers and how guys behind them or in front of them, they're intimidating, and you can't argue that with Aaron Judge. You have to game plan. That's what Barry Bonds did. Barry Bonds didn't see very many pitches, but you
definitely don't want to have the bases loaded and they're coming up. That's for damn sure. So the game is gonna everything. I agree with you. They're good enough that they're making the other team play chess because they're like, well, shit, like this is happening. We can't make this happen. Yeah. So I agree with you. They're influencing the game by just being there. Yeah.
Otani's great. He's just not that. Barry Bonds was on who hit behind Barry Bonds? Jeff Kent? Like Jeff Kent,
Jeff Kent was awesome.
Who?
Jeff Kent was awesome. I love Jeff Kent.
He was awesome. He was wonderful. He should be in the Hall of Fame. To me, in my opinion, he's the best hitting second baseman of all time. There's no doubt about it. To me, Jeff Kent was great. He's not Mookie Betts. He's not Mookie Betts. And Otani hits in front of Mookie Betts.
Okay,
Barry Bonds never had that. There's a reason they walked that man with the bases loaded. There's a reason that they pitched that man maybe 5 times in a series, 6 times in a series. You've seen Chipper Jones, who's arguably one of the best all-around third basemen of all time.
Yes. Let's talk about Mookie Betts.
Real quick, Live a Dream Melrose, he said Dodgers are in first, and he just wanted to say that this is entertainment, power slap, separate the man from the men.
Oh, well.
Levels upon levels, yes.
There is levels to this shit.
Yeah, the level of man in power slap is like 100 power slap dudes can probably beat one gorilla.
I'm just saying.
All slaps.
Imagine walking up on that power slap stage, knowing that you're about to get into a violent car accident. Like that takes balls beyond balls. Like you
all right.
even
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something here.
Go ahead.
So that's one thing that I don't know if it's a gift or a curse for me. I mean, you notice how like calm I am, and so the other night, 4th of July, we're shooting off fireworks at my friend's house in town, and there's all these kids on the street. I mean, I bet you there's 30 kids, and this dude just barrels through. I mean, probably doing 50 mile an hour down the street.
Tell me you got him, Big Bird.
So slapped the whole car.
So he went down the street, and there's like a roundabout, and I'm sitting there, and I had my drone, and I put my drone down, and I was like, "There's no way this dude's got enough balls to come back through here." And I'm like, "All right." So I see him. He turns around, and he's in this Chevy truck, regular cab, and I'm like, "Oh shit, he's coming down here." So I just start walking in the middle of the street because there's all these kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is going to be it. I'm like, we'll see what happens. He might run me over. But I continued at him. Well, he tried to veer around me in the middle of the road, and I jumped into his pickup truck. But I had flip-flops on, so I couldn't make the push, and I was trying to grab him. And we were going down the road, and I ended up getting out of the truck, and he ended up getting away. But like, I guarantee you, that guy's gonna think next time, he's like, "Wow, that's not good."
That guy must be power slap. No.
But the level, and then I just got out of the car. I got out of the car and I went back to doing what I was doing. And my wife's all like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Like my heart's not even beating. I'm just like, "All right, well, I'll find him later. I'll find him." I remember what his face looked like and what he's driving, so I'll catch him in a month or so.
I wanted to do that to like 3 or 4 guys. We had 4th of July at our house, and people, I don't have a very wide street, and people were doing. I was like, "Guys, are you effing serious, dude?"
You're driving down the street right now. Like, okay, you didn't know this was happening. That's
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
drives me nuts.
That's freaking wild. That is wild. That's why we have Big Vernon. Oh, so yeah, back to Mookie Betts and Big
Yep.
Vern's trying to kill guys in the middle of the street. That's a pretty cool story. Rafa, question for you. Mookie is struggling at the plate mightily. Listen, there's 3 or 4 guys that could actually play shortstop better than Mookie on the team.
On the team, yeah.
When do we say Mookie's bat is more important than him like doing this crazy feat that no one's ever done before? Like it's just too much, like being shortstop. It's the most difficult position to play on the field. And I feel like, and everyone feels like it's taking away from Mookie's superpower, which is getting on base and hitting doubles and hitting home runs barely over the left field wall. He's struggling at the plate, Rafa. Should we be done with this whole shortstop thing?
I don't think him playing shortstop is the issue.
Really? I do.
Yeah, I'd move him. I'd move him to the leadoff spot and have Ohtani behind him.
You think that's what it is?
I would try that before I'd move him, because he's not striking out a lot. Ohtani struck out over 100 times, and he's hitting leadoff. So I'd rather have Mookie hit, and I like Ohtani hitting leadoff, but if my second best player, and in reality my best overall player, is hitting second and struggling, I want to move him to because at the end of the day, Ohtani is a great hitter. He struck out over 100 times. We're halfway through the season, right? We're a little bit over halfway through the season. He's on pace to strike out 175 times. Do I want my leadoff man to strike out 175 times, even though it's Ohtani? Do you want that? I really.
Is he batting 300?
No, Ohtani's hit 279.
Okay.
And he struck out 107 times so far this year. And he's played 92 games. So they have 70 games left. And he's averaging over 1 strikeout a game. So he's on pace for about 170 plus strikeouts. So I want my leadoff man to strike out 170 plus times, even though it's Ohtani? And as great as he is, he's hitting 279. He's got 30 plus bombs. He's got whatever. But
31.
He's got 31 home runs, but he struck out 100 plus times. And so with that, and when you look at, he's walked 59 times, and I'm looking at it. His on base percentage is 383, which is best on the team, basically, with the exception of Will Smith. I would move Ohtani to the 2 spot just to see if I can get Mookie going. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to win in the playoffs if Ohtani's striking out over 1, he's averaging over 1 strikeout a game. You're not, and if Mookie's not hitting, you can't afford for Ohtani to, all right, fuck it. If we can't strike him out, we're not going to go right. If we're not ahead with him on 1-2, 0-2, maybe 2-2, fuck it. We pitch around him and we let Mookie come in, and we'll pitch to Mookie because he's fucking hitting 230. Let me move Mookie to the leadoff spot and let me see if that changes him a little bit. We know he missed a lot of spring training, and he missed the start of the season. He was sick. He lost a bunch of weight, obviously. But to me, when I look at the team, the best overall player is Mookie Betts. He's the best all-around player that you have. If he wasn't comfortable at shortstop, he would have gone and said already, listen, this is affecting me here. I'm having trouble at the plate because I'm working so hard at short. But I don't think it's that. So for me, I would move him to the leadoff spot for a little bit, see how that goes. And it's a perfect time to do it. You've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah.
Today they were up 2-1. They blew it in the 9th. Yamamoto was manhandled a couple nights ago. You kind of wasted a good outing today, but you couldn't put together you put together 2 runs.
Yeah.
So, I'd try that first, and now's a perfect time. You got 3 games left, or maybe 4. I don't know if they're playing tomorrow. So you got 4 games before the All-Star break. Mookie, I don't think is playing in the All-Star game, so he'll have some days off. But let him hit leadoff and change it up and see how that goes. You know what? Maybe if he hits leadoff the last 3 or 4 games here before the All-Star break, maybe he rattles off a couple of games where he can grab a couple hits here. Maybe he gets 4 or 5 hits this weekend, gets him going. but you got to get him going. You're not going to be able to win in the playoffs with, you already have a hurt pitching staff.
Yeah.
And although we saw them win the World Series with that hurt pitching staff, they were able to fucking hit the baseball. So you got to be able to hit the baseball. And that to me is a key. He's going to be the key for them winning. So for me, I move him to the leadoff spot first before I think about moving him from short.
See that Big Vern? See that Big Vern? That's why I have the guru on.
That's
I
right.
1,000. He just completely changed my mind. I thought it was shortstop. I agree with you, Rafa. That you convinced me. I didn't have that train of thought. I thought it was hurting him, but he kind of bitched last year. He was kind of butthurt about not leading off last year. And I'll just play devil's advocate for 1 second. You have a guy hitting leadoff who has 31 bombs. It's a record for any Dodger to have 31 bombs before the All-Star break. But I'll say that. That's the only argument I could sort of give. But yeah, you don't want your leadoff hitter striking out like that. But no, that's a great take.
Okay, so Rafa, did that just come off the top of your head, or were you been thinking about that?
No, I promise you.
No. I looked at all I did was look at Ohtani's strikeout numbers because I know that he strikes out quite a bit. So, but yeah, for me, I've always thought that Mookie should hit leadoff. That for me is I've always thought that because I believe he's the best all-around player that they have. And when a player is uncomfortable and he's that good, like who gives a fuck if Andy Pajes is uncomfortable hitting in the 7th spot? Nobody gives a fuck. It's Andy Pajes, right? Or any of the other guys. But when it's Mookie Betts, even Ohtani, you move him to the 2 and then he starts to struggle. You got to sit down and say, well, what do we got to do to fix it, right? So to me, I think that would be the first spot that I would go with Mookie because I believe that he's the best all-around player on the team.
So can we start a thing where we can get Rafa as the manager? Like how do we
Dude, that team has been mismanaged since the first day Dave Roberts.
So how do we do this? Does the city get behind him? The city get behind him when we start voting? Is it like a council seat, like how I was voted in by the public?
Rafa would be the first manager to not wear his team's uniform because he hates the Dodgers.
No, that's not even
I'd wear the pullover. I'd wear the windbreaker.
You guys know that Rafa's been a baseball manager for many, 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 many years. And
I coached a lot of baseball and we played a lot of games. And I always moved around my kids according to where kind of, if they were struggling, I'd kind of move them around. And I had a kid that for a long time hit leadoff and he started to struggle. So I had to move him around where I found him more comfortable. And so, but for me, I think Mookie would be more comfortable in the leadoff spot. And imagine you're hitting behind Ohtani, so to me, I think it would be start there before you do the other, because the other thing is too, Eddie, when you look at the guys that can play shortstop, they can't hit for shit.
True.
Like that's the other thing. Look at
Edmonds. I like Edmonds at short. He could hit. He could hit shit. But before we get off on the Dodgers, listen, lost 6 in a row. I believe they do have the day off. Glasnow pitched well today. But you're going into San Francisco. San Francisco, I believe, is 5 games behind. San Francisco luckily got their ass kicked today. When do we hit the panic button? If San Francisco sweeps the Dodgers, LA fans are gonna lose their fucking minds, Rafa.
I don't know if there's a panic button. When you have, four guys that are arguably, if you look at Freddie, right? He's a little bit older, but he's still hitting, what's he hitting? 299. He's hitting 299.
Yeah.
And so you have Freddie, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, and Ohtani. There is no panic button. Those are your 4 guys that you have. That those guys, if you took
Will Smith is underrated.
So you have Will Smith, Freddie, Mookie, and Ohtani. So you have those 4 guys. There's never a panic with those 4 guys in your lineup. Like you'll be able to figure it out. They're not hitting. They've only scored 11 runs in the 6 losses.
Crazy.
So, but they did. Who'd they face? They faced the Brewers, and who'd they get swept by last weekend?
Someone bad.
The Angels?
Astros.
Oh,
the Astros. That was absolute. The Astros are playing well, and I think they were swept by the Angels weekend before that, right?
Yeah.
Who are somehow playing decent, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That they're even playing baseball. But Yeah, I don't panic, and I don't think they get swept this weekend. Because fans don't need to panic with the Dodgers. They've lost 6 in a row. They're still 5.5 up in the division. Like nobody's playing good enough in that division to overtake them.
Yeah.
So if they were in maybe the NL East or something, or in another division, fine. But I'm not panicking as a
Yeah,
Dodger.
it's just just a longevity thing where they just got to figure it out.
Yeah, teams are going to
It's
go through their
baseball.
bumps.
Yeah,
Teams are going to go through their bumps, and you played a good Brewers team and a very good Astros team. So it's not like you got swept by the fucking Rockies and the D-backs or the Rockies and the White Sox. Like you lost to very good baseball teams. And the kid who pitched yesterday for Milwaukee, Mizrachi or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the young kid, he allowed that home run to Ohtani and then nothing after that.
Nothing. Nada.
He's been phenomenal. So, but by the way, since we're still on the Dodgers, Kershaw gets the Legends exemption for the All-Star game. We should just kind of consider that this is it for Kershaw, right?
I think so. I think this is his last year. Although his record and ERA, I believe his ERA is only like 3.45. I know he's had some rough first innings and stuff, but listen, he's never going to get to 300 wins. He's done 3,000. I know, he's God, who knows how much he's worth at this point. I think he should ride off into the sunset, championship or no championship. He's an all-time, I think he's the 20th pitcher ever to have 3,000 strikeouts. What else is there to accomplish at this point?
No, nothing. And I think he's the best lefty of his era, in my opinion.
Is Randy Johnson's not his era?
I don't think that's his era. I don't think that.
No, that's a legit question. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's his era. I think he's the best. And you can consider that he might be the best pitcher of his era. I don't know, Verlander, Scherzer, Kershaw, right in there. But I think when we look at, regular seasons only, we're not talking about the playoffs. We know how
yeah.
was in the playoffs. With just in the regular season, if we look at this era of pitchers, to me, I think Kershaw was the best regular season pitcher of the last 15 or 16, 17 years, whatever it is. Like he was that good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Clayton Kershaw win an MVP and a Cy Young
in the same year, my friend? Yes, he did.
That's what I thought. Did Pedro do that? Who else?
I think Roger Clemens might have done that.
That's pretty fucking impressive to win an MVP.
There's only a handful of guys.
There's only a
handful of guys that did that.
Yeah.
So
that's badass.
Yeah, no, I think he's phenomenal. And I think kind of Rob Manfred, the GM, the commissioner of baseball, kind of said, hey, this is it for you. This is your fucking, we're putting your ass in the All-Star game. We might even let you start the motherfucker and call it a day.
I think
he should start. I think Dave Roberts should start him. And I know Paul Skeens will be scheduled the way his kind of the alignment comes the way his rotation is. I think Paul Skeens will be ready to pitch on that day. It'll be, I think, his 5th day. I think he's pitching tomorrow, maybe. Unless he pitched today, I'm not sure. But I know Skeens will be ready to go to start. But I think they should start Kershaw in the first inning and let him ride off into the sunset.
Listen, if they start him, then it's a telltale sign that this is his last year. It's sort of like, the Kareem farewell tour where you give him the rocking chair before the game, and Lord knows he deserves it. Lord knows he deserves it.
Or how about Mariano, when Mariano fucking pitched the 8th inning of the All-Star game and somehow won the MVP, I believe. So it's like,
I love it. Any other baseball? I think we've covered it all, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. By the way, Zero Cool said earlier, Devin Booker just got 2 years, $145 million. So my Booker to the Lakers dream is dead. He just got
2 years. Oh my! What?
2 years, 145. That tops the extension that SGA just got a year on yearly salary. Yeah, it's going to be over $72 million. per
How
season.
many Impalas can you buy with
A lot.
100 quarters?
A lot of Impalas.
All of them.
If you have an Impala,
Buy
if you have a nice,
all of the
All of them.
Impalas. All of
if
them.
you have
Yes.
if you have a nice 59 fucking Impala or a 63 or 64, and you're in Arizona, find Devin Booker. He was ready to make a purchase, and any Grand Nationals that you may have.
There you go. That's where the money. That's when he's actually going to have to spend money. Start getting the Grand Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has one. I think he has. I thought I saw him with one.
Oh, I'm
So-
sure he
Yeah,
does.
I know a guy with a GNX, a low miles
Oh.
GNX.
What
Woo.
a car, right, Vern?
Yeah.
By
It's-
the way, back in the day during when you go on to in Kelly Blue Book, we have car dealerships. We have a different Blue Book than the one the public can access, right? So when you go on and you take an '87 Regal and you fucking add, it's a $10,000 add-on if you had a Grand National, which
Mhm.
is the only add-on. And now it doesn't even matter because that car's worth,
Oh, yeah.
a ton of money. But that was crazy back in the day. We would always
Yeah,
just be like,
the same guy that has the GNX has the Regal T-Type,
"Hmm."
and he's got the whole line. He's like the serious, like it's nuts.
Yeah, we got to do a different car podcast, Vern. I think we should do it all.
Oh,
We should-
Yeah.
100% you guys should do that shit.
We should get that going, Eddie. Eddie, set that up. We'll
All right,
go.
I'll say
yeah.
this before we stop talking about the cars. In Salina, one of the richest and biggest car owners is in Salina, and no one knows about it.
Really?
And I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
I think I've heard
Like
about
Queen of England's, Rolls Royces, like
Oh, is that where that guy lives?
it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all right, we'll get a car podcast going, and
I've
we'll
seen
talk about that.
I've
But yeah,
seen that on YouTube.
I got some info on that.
Oh man.
What up to Will Hanley? Will Hanley, day one, Iowa State, Brock Purdy guy. Love Will. Always talking shit.
He's the fucking vice president of the Brock Purdy fan club.
He is. He is the vice president.
Yeah, I'm the president.
Yeah. Let's listen. Big Vern, Kansas, just in Kansas, very close to the Chiefs, and not a Chiefs fan.
Nope,
But
not a
there-
Chiefs fan, but yeah,
There's some
very
news.
close.
Eddie Money, can you give us some breaking news on Chiefs and Chiefs Stadium and what's going on?
So I looked it up a little bit. The Chiefs were looking to relocate from their well-known Arrowhead Stadium in Missouri to a domed stadium, Kansas. That was the main thing I saw about it, and I feel like that's like if Green Bay kind of went away from their stadium. I feel like their stadium is
Not
like
the
pretty iconic.
same. Not the same.
So I no, my
Not
thing.
the
Okay,
same. That was
Arrow-
epic.
Arrowhead is it's cool, but the thing is with Arrowhead, it's never just been Arrowhead because the Royal Stadium is right next door.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It is literally the same parking lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That's
it is.
Is that the old Kauffman Stadium?
Yeah. So it's just and they're like, I have some friends that live in Kansas City, and they're like, yeah, they've been talking about moving it downtown, which is insane because there's no way you can move it downtown because
No.
Eddie's been there. You were there
Power
for
lights. Oh, dude, it's badass. You
And
can't
Power
put the
Light's
stadium
awesome.
there.
Yeah, it's great, but there's
Badass.
no room
You
for an
can't put it
NFL stadium.
there. Nope.
Doesn't exist. Power Light's great. So I've heard that, and so the Kansas City Speedway, the NASCAR track, is literally on the Kansas side.
Oh.
We have this whole like shopping complex, like Cabela's is out there, Great Wolf Lodge, the NASCAR track. There's a minor league baseball field out there. I mean, it only honestly makes sense because they can build what they want. They can build the Taj Mahal of football stadiums.
Yeah.
Have the biggest parking lot, have everything you want. There's nothing on the Missouri side that's going to offer that. So I don't see it staying in the Missouri side. The only way that's going to stay in the Missouri side is if there's some ungodly tax break and the money just is unreal because there's no place to build what they want.
Now, this has been going on for 2-3 years, has it not? I mean,
Oh yeah, a friend of mine, they voted on something like
yeah,
the land. I mean, there's a lot of like city voting going on, but just in the aspect too of like, the Royals, they had a great run. Things were good for them. Ticket prices are up, but also they always shared the same parking lot. They shared the same area. I really see if I see how it's going to go, it's going to go. The Chiefs are going to move to the Kansas City side. They're going to tear down that stadium. The Royals are going to build a new stadium, and they're going to tear down the old stadium. So there's one stadium there, one stadium in Kansas. It's the only way you can do it because they've just been. Have you guys ever been to the Chiefs Raiders game?
No.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
well, not
you've been to the.
have
Have you been to the Kansas City one?
not an Arrowhead.
Oh man, you're missing out because it's insane. But and that being said,
Tough
the
game to
parking
go
lots
for us.
the parking lot's too small. Everything's not big enough for what they want. It's got to
Yeah.
come to the Kansas side.
What I saw is that the Chiefs they still have a lease for Arrowhead Stadium until 2031, but they've been granted an extension until the end of this year to see if they can get that new stadium built in Missouri and make a decision on it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do it. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it.
What does Will have to say about his mom over here?
His mom bought
Mom's the president of the Will Hanley fan of the Brock Purdy fan club.
Send me a picture, and please don't show her my Brock Purdy. I don't need anyone coming to Downey and trying to
I have
train
actually
me.
Brock Purdy's parents. They go to a local bar in Newport, and I know the security there, and he chops it up with them time to time.
Ooh, I was just in Newport. Hopefully they just I would love to run into them.
Your son didn't just start it.
Just start talking shit. I'm the
No
his
fucking
number
way.
one.
Your son's a system
freezes-
quarterback.
Eddie freezes up.
I
Like
do.
he froze up with Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Are you the guy that's like hi?
He
No,
didn't know
nothing
who
even comes
Bryce
out of his
Young
mouth.
was.
not even high. Not even high.
I
Brad
can't
Johnson-
say anything. I ran into Greg Maddox and I literally just looked at him and like walked by.
Yeah. No,
And then I literally got down the street and I told Shannon, I was like, hey, that was Greg Maddox. And she's like, who? And I'm like, never mind. Like, just,
yeah, no. Just quick story. So my son lives in Chapel Hill. The starting quarterback is Brad Johnson's son. Brad Johnson, Vikings quarterback, Tampa Bay Super Bowl winning quarterback. His son is a next door neighbor and on the same floor as my son in the same building. And I bought a football. I told Sonny, I said, Sonny, here's a football. When you see, when you see Brad Johnson's son, please give him this ball. I want it signed. Da 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 da. He's like, Dad, you've seen him like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to bother him. We come in from playing golf. I see the son. He's huge, 6'5". I forget his name. We're walking in from Sonny's banquet. I have a 4x3 singlet framed, and now Brad Johnson is holding the door for me, Big Vern. He's like, what do you got in your hands, bud? I freeze. I show him. He's like, that's really cool. I still freeze. I walk past him. Don't say a word. My wife, everyone just laughing at me. Like, you've been wanting this guy's autograph for 2 months. He's talking to you. He's asking you questions. I showed him my son's thing. And he's like, this guy's maybe he's a mute. Maybe something's cut on his tongue. Yeah. So they're not exaggerating when I freeze. Yeah.
Eddie would be the worst sports reporter. Can you imagine Eddie going into the Dodgers locker room? And it's like, all right, Eddie, grab Otani's. We need talk to Otani about him going 3 for 4 tonight with 3 home runs. And
Eddie would be the Ricky Bobby of reporting.
100%. Eddie would be like
the microphone. He'd be like, microphone.
Yeah,
he'd call him Senor. He'd call him Senor Otani. Like he didn't know what the fuck's going on.
I would say thank you in Korean, not Japanese.
Yeah.
Not in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's Thailand?
Yeah. Yes.
And he
100%.
gets so nervous, and then he just go, "Oh, Riri."
Oh, really?
Hey,
Dude, he forgot.
Tony's
He walked right past Bryce Young and didn't know who it was. Just didn't know who it was.
I froze.
He
I'm
knows.
really,
Right
I'm just
after
really
he
bad
got,
about
he was
not
number one
bothering
pick, by the
people.
way.
I'm just bad about not bothering people. I'm just like, I just let it go. I'm just like, I walk,
Yeah, I don't
I
bother
want
people.
I want to be the cool guy, like I don't want to be.
I took a picture with
You
Don
look good
Fry.
on
I don't take
actually
pictures with
ready.
people, but I took a picture with Don Fry. I was like,
that's
I have to.
that's-
but yeah, but I don't freeze, Eddie.
I saw the Iceman going.
George Gervin?
George Gervin?
No, not George Gervin.
There's only one fucking
Oh, well,
Iceman.
who the hell?
Chuck
No,
Liddell.
no, Chuck Liddell.
Oh, Chuck Liddell.
Oh,
I'm waiting at the airport. I walk right by him. He nods. He's with his wife, and my wife. There's one thing my wife can do, and she's done it to me 3 or 4 times. She'll say, and this is she's like, "Why didn't you say anything to him?" She's like, "Stop being such a pussy." And boom, she'll tell me if my wife drove up to a bank and said, I need you to rob that bank. I'm like, I'm not stupid. She'll say, "Stop being a pussy." I'd go rob that bank.
and he would walk out with the whole man.
That's one thing. I was like, okay. Oh, really? That's what you think I am? So I went back. She's like, "Why didn't you go?" I'm like, I don't know. I went back. I'm like, "Sorry, Mr. Liddell. I don't mean to bother you, but I saw you. I want an opportunity." He's like, "Sure." His wife's like, "Just whatever. Take a picture." I put my arm around him, Vern. This man, mind you, it's 8:30 in the morning in the Delta Lounge. This man is dripping wet, like he had just either got out of rehab or out of a swimming pool. I don't know which one it was, but I put my arm around him like, oh my God, this man, he's I won't say because I don't want to get knocked out by him if I ever see him. But yeah. I did that one time. So that's my story. And I do freeze. What else we got on the NFL agenda? Eddie Money?
Redskins got new uniforms to actually look like the Redskins team now. They look pretty dope. I should have had that as my hiring them.
I haven't seen them. Is there any way to put these up? I mean, what do you mean by look like? Do they have the Indian? Do they have?
No. So they did everything but the logo. They did
Jesus.
So what are they doing on the helmet?
They will one day be the Redskins again, Vern. We will one day get that.
It's gotta be. It's so annoying. It's the
agree.
history behind it. And it's like there wasn't a single Indian that was like, "Please guys, take that off." It was a bunch of pencil pushing, woke, dumb people that are just like, I don't think I'm offended. Like, I don't care that you're offended.
Yeah.
Like, there's no Lando Lake Indian anymore. There's no Aunt Jemima's. Did they get rid of Uncle Ben's rice?
I think they did.
I'm sure
Yeah,
they did.
but we still got Quaker fucking oats.
They don't. Not yet.
Like,
when the Amish people finally stand up and rise up against come on, man.
that's great. Just put the Indian on the side and we're good to go.
Based off their Super Bowl uniform.
So that was
a
my
long
high
time
school.
ago.
So I went to Bishop Alamany High School. That was our uniform, and we had the Indian. We had straight up Indian on the helmet.
We're a Trojan, so I mean, is that like bad too? I'm like, I went to school with the Trojans. I mean, we beat people up. That's what they did. So I don't know. Everyone's so offended.
Yeah, I offend people all the time.
But also in that aspect, thinking of what the getting rid of the Redskin and all that, I didn't realize how many people had an opinion about stuff until I started competing in PowerSlap. You wouldn't believe the amount of like hate messages and everything that I got. And it had nothing to do with like me like competing and hurting someone. It had everything to do with my health. It was just so weird how like these people come out of the woodwork that are like, "Oh, do you realize like you could get hurt?" And I'm like, "Yep." I mean, I bet you I responded about 4,000 or 5,000 people just like, "Hey, thanks for your concern." But on that aspect, it's the same thing as that happened to the Redskins. It's like, this group of people that probably don't even watch football, don't even like football, are like, oh my God, there's an Indian on there.
Yeah.
Who cares that he was a chief that was drawn by an Indian, that this whole process was, over the Indians and they knew about it. Yeah, I want them to go back. I want to go back to 2003 to 2006 when everything was fucking cool. There's
Boom,
my
not
rant.
anymore.
Well, Vern, you need to graduate from city council to maybe senator of Kansas to maybe. I mean, listen. What's
It's all
his name?
about votes, right? I just need the votes. So yeah, we get the
Just
votes.
ask
Maybe
them
that's
to
the next step. I
baseball.
go to
Hey,
I go to
Jesse the Body Ventura, man, governor of Minnesota.
and Arnold. I mean, yeah, you got it
Arnold?
right. You
Dude,
got it right. We're a Republican state. I'm a Republican. We're good to go. I just put it in there.
let me ask you this, and I had this question written down. What is more difficult in your life, being a city council member, a public servant, politician, or PowerSlap?
Oh, definitely a public servant. Like hands down. Hands down. The council member. After every meeting, I usually deal with about 2 to 3 hours of people about like their questions and like their concerns. And then there's nothing against it. I mean, I signed up for it, but like honestly, you don't realize the problem when money's involved because we're in charge of money. I'm in charge of money for the city. And if I make one decision and it gets voted on and everything, oh my God, like I'm getting, people are calling me, people are telling people, other people, it's difficult. It is by far, it tests my patience constantly. And I enjoy it, but it's hard. It's hard. If anyone thinks things are difficult, just become like a public servant on a city council or any member of any board, and you'll understand what's difficult.
I had a feeling I knew that answer, but I did want to ask you that question because it's just so impressive. Like I said, how many, fingers you have in so many different aspects of the world, man. It's like I said, inspiring as hell. I would never venture to do anything like that. But
Live a Dream Melrose said, I don't pay to see many sporting events, but I would pay to see Vern slap a mofo. It was
Get on down there,
100% worth
be in
your
New
money.
Orleans.
Trust me, we were there.
Yeah, get in New Orleans. I mean, every fan that comes up to me, anyone that talks to me, anyone that ever sees me in public, I always talk to them. Like the other day, I was building this giant retaining wall next to the golf course at this guy's house. Great guy. Huge stones. I mean, I'm moving them with skid steers. I'm out there like walking on the golf course, like making sure everything's level so you can see it.
Yeah.
And this guy that's golfing, he just like pauses this. I know when it's coming because people stare at you.
Yeah.
And he's just like staring at me. And he's like, "Are you from Gypsum?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Gypsum." And he's like, "I think I know you somehow." And I'm like, it's probably the internet. And he's like, "I do know you." And then like it just turned into this thing where he's all like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I have a normal job and this is what I do." And but yeah.
But how do you explain it? A normal job. You have like 5 normal jobs.
Yeah, I do a lot. Yeah, but it's just keeping busy. But yeah, getting recognized in public is always great. But no, if anyone comes at any event and they talk to me, I talk to them. Like I look at it as that's the other thing with like athletes. I get it when you get so big and that's all you're getting is people just bombarding you and everything. But also at that same time, like that's why you have the money you have. No other reason whatsoever. If people didn't care about you, short of golf, you can make your own money because you just are good and you get on the league and you go to the tournaments and you do what you can. But every other sport's like, truly, if you're a jerk and a dick, you better be really good to get into a sport. So I think athletes owe it to their fans no matter what. It sucks. But that's why a lot of athletes, live out, they have different homes, different places. But yeah, I'm sorry I just ranted on this, but yeah, if anyone ever talks to me and sees me, I definitely talk to them back. I talk back to them.
No. And we know that. Listen, we have 15 minutes left. I want to. I mean, sports wise, we're good. I want to. Anything else, Eddie Money? We want to knock
Um,
out.
just either Jokic or about DeAndre Ayton joining the Lakers. If you have any
Let
comments
you
or
know what,
opinions.
Rafa. I'm gonna run out for 2 minutes. Rafa, can you talk about? Rafa said this before anyone. He said he thought that Aiton would be a good fit to the Lakers.
I
Uh,
did. I was preaching that.
I personally think it's a reach. I think I'll let Rafa go off on this, and we should definitely talk about Joker. But I want to before we end this thing, I want to get into PowerSlap 14. I want to get into the card and how everyone could watch it and really focus in on Big Vern. But Rafa, go ahead.
I like the 8 move. I thought it was the right move they needed to make, and I thought it. I told Eddie a couple weeks ago. I think the Lakers should get a guy like Aiton who can score the basketball. He can play with his back to the basket. He can rebound the basketball, and he can be your third best player without a problem. You're not bringing him in to be your. You don't need him to score 22, 23 a night. 18, 17 to 20. Last year he had 14 and 10 or 12 or whatever it was. But he's a 20-point scorer. He's a capable player to do that night in and night out. So I think it's perfect for them. It's kind of, you can let LeBron kind of sit back a little bit because you can't expect to get 25 from LeBron every fucking night. And you saw in the playoffs, they lost to Gobert, who's not an offensive fucking juggernaut. He just killed them on the glass. So for me, I thought it was a good move. I still think they need other pieces. To me, I think they need a 3-and-D type player. I need at least one or two. But I think they're better today than they were at the end of the season for sure. But I still think they need a couple more pieces with them for the Lakers. But I like the 8 move. And then if you look at Denver, I like what Denver did, moving Michael Porter Jr. I like the move for Michael Porter Jr. I think when you see him next year in Brooklyn, I think you're going to see a guy who's going to score 22 to 25 a night and be probably the main focus on that team for Michael Porter Jr. going to Brooklyn. I think for him, it's a great move, and you'll see that he'll be a max player in 2 years because I believe Michael Porter is that good. On the Denver side of it, talking about the Joker, by the way, they went inside Bruce Brown back, who was a big part of their championship team. So it adds depth to their bench. It adds, I like what Denver did, and Joker not taking the money, not resign, not agreeing to an extension and waiting until next year, because I believe that Joker's the best player in the world right now, today, and he deserves to be the highest paid player. So when next year comes around and he's up for that $80+ million a year extension, I think it's well deserving. And whether you want to agree with it or not, SJ got a huge deal, and now we see Booker getting an even bigger deal than that for 2 seasons, $70+ million. Joker's definitely worth $80+. Joker's worth every penny that you can pay a player, period. So I think for Joker is a smart move to wait till next year. And a lot of people are going to think, well, will he leave Denver? To me, I don't think he would leave Denver because $80 million a year is the only way you're going to get it is in Denver. So, but I don't know what you guys think on that.
I think Aiden's good. I thought me and my friend were talking about MPJ going to Brooklyn. We were like him and Cam Thomas. They'll average like 45. They'll average like 45 a game and then lose because they can fucking score, like they can shoot the lights out, both of them. And I think, like you said, Porter Jr. being by himself, not by himself, but being away from Jokic, and instead of just being the waiting to get the swing ball or just waiting to get the 3 open, you'll be able to see him create a lot more and score a lot more.
Yeah, I think he's very capable. I think he's very capable of 22 to 25 a night for easily.
Woo!
And he's won a title already. So, what does that matter? Now get paid, score some points and get paid and show people how good you really are. And I think he's a really, really good basketball player.
Yep.
Oh, you're talking about Joker, right? You're not talking about Aiton.
No, talking about
No, we're talking about Joe.
Okay. I was like, hold on. I came in the middle of that conversation. I heard 20, 25 a night.
No, 20, 25 a night. I think what you're going to get from Michael Porter Jr. in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. I like that.
No, Joker's going to go for 30, 10, and 10 every night.
In
That's
slow
his right.
motion and still
It-
get
but
it.
The real question is this the writing on the wall? He wants out.
No, he gets
no.
80 million more
He gets
dollars
$80
next year.
million next year.
No,
He
he's just proving a point. He's just going to bring it out and prove a point, and then he's going to get what he deserves.
Does it
Yeah.
does it seem like Joker's a money guy though? I think
But
he
why
wants,
would you not?
because he can go somewhere else and get 50, 60 million and win.
Is Joker the type of player, and you watch him play, and you've watched his interaction with everyone, right?
Yeah.
He's not the type of guy that I don't believe that he wants to be considered one of the best in the league or one of the best all time, because
one,
he
Matt.
feels, at least when you watch it, and when you watch and you listen to these idiots like Kendrick Perkins and all the morons on ESPN and all that,
Big Perk.
they're always bad mouthing him, or not bad mouthing him, but they don't give him the credit because he's a European player, because he's white. Oh, Shaq. Oh, I would mop the floor with him and yada 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 and all that shit. So does he really want to leave Denver to go and try and win 3 more titles, or fucking collect $80 million a year and be the highest paid player in a league where he's, no doubt about it, the best player in the league? When you look at Joker, that to me, in my eyes, there is no, when Jordan from 91 to 98, there was no argument that he was the best player in the league. With LeBron James from 2009 to 2018, there was no doubt about it that he was the best player in the league. When you look now from 2022 to today, and for the next probably 2 or 3 years, there is no doubt about it that the Joker is the best player in the league. And he proved it to you this year. He proved it to you last year.
Not even close.
Not even close. He's in that realm where he's the best player and he should win the MVP every year, as LeBron should have, as Jordan did, as Shaq could have. They should. So he's in that. He's already there. So to me, I want to make the most money possible. I already won a title. Everyone knows I'm the fucking best, and nobody's ever going to give me credit. Nobody's ever going to put me in that list with Kareem and Shaq and Wilt and Bill Russell and Tim Duncan, because they don't respect me because I'm an Eastern European player. That's the thing. Because when you watch all these idiots on TV, they don't give him. Guy had a 50-point triple-double. A 50 fucking point triple-double. I think it was like 15 rebounds or 17 assists, some crazy shit like that. The next morning, that wasn't even the news. That wasn't even like we're talking about Joker the next morning. It wasn't even that. He was like the third story that day. So they don't give a shit, in reality. So why would he give a shit about going and winning 3 or 4 titles if he joined a team like, whatever, Miami or the Lakers or Dallas or whatever? I don't think that matters to him as much as, and him waiting to get the extension next year. There's nobody who can pay him that. Nobody who can give him $80 million.
I'll tell you who can if they get rid of him. The Lakers, baby. Him and
Nobody
Luka.
can, because the way the NBA works, once you leave that team, look what happened to Luka. Luka lost. What did he lose? $75 million or whatever by getting traded. Yeah. So I don't know the exact number, but it was a ridiculous amount of money. Joker's not going to risk losing probably $25 million a season for a fucking ring. You've heard Gilbert Arenas. Would you have taken $50 million less for a ring? Fuck no. No. Because at the end of the day, you're still not going to be considered when it's all said and done. Even if he wins 3 more titles or 4 more titles and he goes to some other team, nobody's ever going to consider him better than Shaq. They're not going to consider him better than Kareem. When we know damn well that he's an all-around better player on a basketball court, whether people want to say it or not, and I'm going to say it right here, he's an all-around better basketball player all time than Shaquille O'Neal. I said it. I don't give a fuck.
You know what? You know what's crazy? We did 2 weeks ago, we did our put your best 5 guys, and I regret putting Kevin Garnett. I would have put Joker at 4 and Akeem at 5.
But the thing is, Joker plays the 5. So that's the thing. Like when we made that list, when we made that list, we put them based on position. We didn't take the 5 best players. And then you have to take, because we build a team. That's what we did. We built a team that can go 82-0. When you have a guy like Shaq, you can't put Joker and LeBron on the same team with Magic Johnson, because you have now 3 guys that can pass basketball, and you don't need 3 guys that can pass the basketball. With 2, you got plenty to win a title. So, that's how we did it, which is why we all took Shaq, I believe, at center. You took Hakeem, God knows why. But
bullshit, okay? Bullshit. You guys are just too fucking young. Hakeem was
good, Eddie. There's no doubt about it.
He was better than good.
I would have took Tim Duncan over Hakeem.
The thing is, Tim Duncan played the 4, so you could have taken Tim Duncan at the 4, which I think Ryan did.
Couple guys did.
He took him at the 4, but you already, when you're building a team, you're building position with players that can play together. So, if I already have guys that can do certain things, why do I need Tim Duncan?
Why did no one take Joker at the 5 then?
Because I just explained it. For me.
This is why Rafa's in charge.
No, I'll tell you, because on my team, I already had Magic and LeBron. I had Magic, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant. My buckets are coming from Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, and I got Big Shaq down low to rebound and put back. I don't need the Joker down low, because the Joker can't play down low like that. But Joker can pass better. He can shoot the 3 better. But I already have a team with Kevin Durant, so I don't need him. That's the thing. So the Joker's a better passer than Shaq. There's no doubt about it. But on a team, you had a team of Magic Johnson and LeBron James. What do you need more passing for? No need.
He had LeBron James on his team, Big Vern. That was the problem right there.
And Rafa's part-time job is the Madden rating. He rates everyone in all the games. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't play video games, but if I had to rate NBA players, I would give a 100 to LeBron James.
No, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
On to the next story.
On to the next story. Guys.
By the way, you know what I saw? Real quick, since we're talking about basketball.
Go ahead.
The 5 best left-handed players of all time. Did you? I don't know if you saw it. I think they did it with Catino Mobley, and I thought it was an interesting list. He had Nick Van Exel as one of the 5 best.
I was going to say Nick Van Exel.
He had him as his 5th best left-handed player of all time.
That's who popped into my mind immediately. Nick Van.
Yeah, it was impressive. Baby. It was impressive. We should do that one day.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, we're almost at 2 hours. I want to give and Eddie Money, if you could pull up lines. Listen, obviously Big Vern can't gamble, but he could talk about the card and the matchups and who he likes and who he doesn't like. But if we could pull up the card for the 18th Friday night in Louisiana, and just while Eddie Money pulls that up, my question to you, Big Vern, is that has Austin been a little quiet?
He's ramped up a little bit. They didn't announce it. He announced it because he can't listen and keep his mouth shut. But he announced pretty much that we were having a match, and he kind of ran his mouth for a little bit, and I kind of chirped back at him. And he's been going up and down. But yeah, it's here. I guarantee Monday through Friday, it's just going to be just a shit show of comebacks and shit talking. But no, the card's going to be pretty good.
What's the itinerary look like? When do you get into town? When's weigh-ins and press conference? How's that look for you?
Well, I'll fly in Monday, and then I'll go. I got to always have some paperwork to sign some paperwork. There's autographs. I have to sign posters, sign different things. But yeah, I mainly then it's pretty busy. Like I brought my wife one time. I was like, hey, she's like, I want to see what you do. And about an hour and a half into it, she's like, yeah, I don't need to ever see this again. Because it's just like, because we're alongside the UFC too. Like, they're doing everything we're doing. And it's constant like, hey, go over here, get these photos taken, go over here, do this. And it's just, it's busy. Wednesday is all right. Thursday, once we weigh in, everything's kind of great. So from Thursday to Friday, I'm pretty chill. But like from Monday to Thursday, there's always something I'm doing.
And this will be the first time probably in your competition PowerSlap history that you are not like eating watermelon,
Oh yeah, dude,
sauna,
this is great. Like I gotta eat food. I ate steak. Like
some gumbo,
before I'm like,
maybe.
Or can hit up the wind buffet.
yeah, everything. Like it's nuts. Like before I'm eating cabbage, Jello, water. Yeah,
Eating
you're not going to
water.
believe this, but I usually have about 20, 25 quarts of Jello in my refrigerator when I'm the week prior to competition.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll eat like, and that's like I'll eat that in a couple days, and then I'll make another 25 quarts to eat. But
Wow. Well, let's look at the card real quick. You guys, these guys better than I do, obviously, and we're preparing for your post-career, power slap commentary. What stands out to you? Not, I don't want you to talk on everyone, but what stands out?
What are
What's gonna
some
be-
some matches we should be looking for?
honestly, let's see here. You're gonna, Manny Munez
Yeah.
against Brandon. I mean, that's going to be a great match. Manny's he's pissed because his last match got stopped because someone wouldn't use their left hand. But and honestly, the main event for the night, DeBell, that guy is perfect. Like he also doesn't get penalties. So, and he's just a hard hitting. It's just nuts. I mean, the West Mena and DeBell, Godfrey, he's entertaining. He's entertaining for sure. Robert Trujillo, he's great. He doesn't mess up. But Dakota McGregor, he's on a mission. But honestly, the Bell, Godfrey, and Munez, those are the matches that are going to be good.
No
You don't
relation
think
to
you don't
Connor?
think Wes has a chance against DeBell?
No, I haven't seen anyone in the whole league, no matter what weight division's got a chance against that guy.
Wow, that's
Wow.
Man, I like Wes.
Wes is good. Wes is a good guy. I've never seen in training in any of his other videos, any other league, I've never seen Damian even stumble or stutter. He is by far the best competitor in this sport in the world. Like,
Wow.
it's nuts. And he'll ramp up too. He'll hit you soft and he'll just keep going. Like, this is a 5-round match. He'll purposely like go soft so that he can destroy you mentally.
Oh man.
Like, he's that good. Like, I don't understand how he doesn't even get phased. Like, it's weird. Like, there's something different in his brain.
Well, there you have it. Do we know the line on that Eddie Money?
No, they're not out yet.
Yeah,
Well,
we
yeah.
haven't. We don't know who won the coin toss yet. So
Yeah, we don't want to do that with
What is it, Rafa?
DeBell's won like 4 or 5 in a row, right?
yeah, he's never lost.
Ah,
Wow. All right, there you have it, folks. Super heavyweight. What do we have at super heavyweight? I always like
nobody on this go. Oh, we have one.
number 5 and
Oh, Dwayne Crespo, he'll be entertaining. I didn't see
we-
Dwayne was on there.
we've seen Crespo go at it before, yeah.
But the
He was
problem
at-
is Crespo's really tall and the other guy's really short. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how that one's gonna go. Because height does make a difference in the sport.
Oh
Who
yeah.
would you just generally give the advantage to the taller person because they're striking down?
No. Other way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want it up.
Yeah, it's like Mike Tyson giving an uppercut. It's
Ah.
a fluid motion when you're going up, like throwing the discus or hammer or shot put. It's so much more fluid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm-
no, I appreciate you
Well-
guys having me on, and this is it's gonna be a good card, and I'll be posting stuff, and I just, I love how you guys are so like every sport, you're just like going through everything. Short of NASCAR, you guys aren't NASCAR fans, but
What?
Yeah, I used to be.
I quit NASCAR.
Yeah.
I quit NASCAR after Jeff Gordon.
You know, there's some ups and downs in it right now. Hey, but you know what's going to be crazy is Justin Gatlin's coming back to track and field, right?
No.
Really?
How old is he?
He's 43. He's 43, but he has the fastest time in the past 15 years out of any athlete, any sprinter.
Wait,
Right.
hold on. You're talking better than Hussein. You're saying 15 years. Hussein Bolt, he has a.
Yeah, he ran 9.75 to beat Usain Bolt, and that's been the was a guy that tied it last week, I think, in Eugene, Oregon. I'm not sure if he did or not, but so in the past 15 years, there's only been 2 guys that have run 9.75, and he's one of them. And now that Tyreek Hill and all these internet people are running their mouth, he's coming out of retirement. He's going to train for 6 or so months, and next year he's going to call all of them out. You can come to the track meet. He's making this into a big spectacle about all these people thinking they're fast. So I love it.
Wow.
Love it.
That's crazy. I haven't heard that. Have not heard that.
Yeah, because Tyreek Hill's run 2 track meets in the past few weeks or past few months, and he ran a 10:10. So he's getting close to sub 10s, which is pretty amazing for a guy that plays football and doesn't train track all year round.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, for sure. For sure. I think we're getting close, man. We're getting close to NFL. We're hurting for it. And that's our prime time season, NFL. Rafa's going to give you blue chips. We're going to be ringing the bell, talking a shit ton of gambling. But I just appreciate you coming on, spending a whole 2 hours with us, Big Vern. I have a special guest here. I want these guys to say hello. Come real quick.
Oh,
Sit down.
Look at Jay.
What's up? I can hear. What can I hear?
Jay's
Jay.
there on a Wednesday
Looking at-
night. I know what he's doing.
What up, players? What's up, guys?
Big
What
Vern's
up,
on.
gangsters?
Wow.
Oh, I see Rafa, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Long
Look
time no
at
see,
Jay.
guy.
Jay there on a Wednesday night. I will not divulge why he is there, but I know why he is there.
I'm here for the hot dogs. No
of
shit.
course you did.
You're always there for the hot dogs, dude.
Woo-hoo! Yeah.
Jay's
Peace
in
out,
for
guys.
any weenie fest ever.
And potatoes.
And
No,
potatoes.
you're just a weenie guy, bro. Relax.
Yeah, they're Wagyu. They're Wagyu dogs.
He'll take a dog any which way as long as
Hey, before I go,
Good. Yes.
hey, there's a T-shirt in my closet that says something about that. You got 1 second. You got 1 second.
Yeah, no, we have all the seconds.
All right, I'm gonna go grab this T-shirt, and this is a joke that I did years ago at a festival that we did. Hold on.
Yeah.
it's got a picture of Jay with like 4 wieners.
Picture of Jay with just a hot dog.
Yeah, this freaking guy, man. Unbelievable.
With all sorts of dogs
Yeah.
in and around his mouth.
All right.
Let's see this.
Okay, so there's the front,
Fall Fest
Fall Fest,
2014.
and I made up this saying.
It takes 2 hands to hold this dog.
Damn right.
Oh my God.
Jay
Yep.
uses 2 hands all the time.
Yep. Yeah. And it's not
So
his
it's
dog.
funny because my buddy's mom, he owned a restaurant and they're in Gypsum, and like, hey, let's make these shirts up. I'm like, hey, we should use my saying, because it's funny. It's about a wiener. And his mom was like, everyone bought these shirts. We sold hot dogs. It was hilarious. At the end of the night, like Alex is all like, he's like, man, this is hilarious, Vern. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Everyone's got this shirt on that's pretty much talking about my wiener. And his mom's all like, are you kidding me? That's what that's about. Like, we made T-shirts about this. I'm like, yes, we did.
Yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it. Is Shannon anywhere near? Can Shannon come say hi to us, or she's not available? I know Benny's not there.
Oh yeah, no, she's downstairs. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing though.
Oh man, I would love to say hi to her. But how's the wrestling son? The boy who wrestles, how's he's doing?
He's in a weird transition, honestly, because it's funny you say that because he just messaged me today out of the blue. He's like, because he had a sports physical,
Uh-huh.
So he's so happy because he's 6'2.5" without his shoes on. So he's all like, 15 years old, 6'2.5". I was like, okay,
Wow.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
So
Shannon,
he's in
Shannon.
Shannon's watching this
Shannon's-
downstairs.
Yeah, there she is.
Hey, Shannon.
But it's you know as well as I do in wrestling. I mean, it's just there's so much involved. It's the hardest sport in the world. I don't care what anyone says.
100%.
It is. And when you're a guy that has grown and you're always bigger than everyone else height wise, it's hard for you to wrestle because you're always wrestling against a guy that's older and the more developed and more skilled.
Yeah.
So he did great in wrestling. I mean, he was better than 500. Which I told him as long as he does good and tries his hardest. But it's just wrestling. You can always tell someone that never wrestled when they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad," and then someone that does wrestle. So it's great for him, and the mental's good. He's doing great. It's just pushing him through to understand that it's going to take. This isn't like it's a year's game. It's like any other sports. Like it's going to take time to physically and mentally get to the point where you can wrestle good. But in 3 years, you're still better than 99% of the world. So it is what it is.
There you go. Will PowerSlap ever be sanctioned in California? And when are you and Shannon and Benny and the kids going to come visit us in California? I know you can golf. You do everything.
I'm trying to golf. That is the hardest sport to that's not physical. I've been working on chipping and some other stuff, but man, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Big for the club.
It is brutal.
It's brutal. Rafa see me chip. He knows it's very brutal.
It is
But
tough.
But when can you guys get out here and come visit us? I mean, Disneyland is 15 minutes away.
It'll probably be over the winter sometime, so we can get out of this cold.
Smart.
So yeah, we can probably come see you over the winter sometime.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
But as golfing wise, like I'm not even good enough to go buy myself a nice set of clubs because I'm like the clubs are not affecting my ability right now. So I can't say anything. I have some Cobra 2s, some old Cobra 2s that are nice. But man, I've been collecting golf clubs. Like just it's so dumb. Like, when you get involved in something, you're like, oh, I'm going to find this. I found the very first set of TaylorMades. They're called the Progressive ones. They're crazy, weird looking, but I own them now. So
that's what I'm talking about. The most interesting man in the world. This guy, we haven't even talked about half of this shit that he's involved in. A crazy fucking big.
But you wait, I'll get that poster made of like what I've done in my life, and then I'm just gonna have like spots where the kids and everyone can put their name and they can check off if they've done what I've done.
Yeah, you're just basically setting the bar so high. Your grandkids and your kids are gonna be like, "Wow, I'm a real loser. This is what my grandfather and dad did. He's a pilot, a mechanic, councilman, PowerSlap, Highland Games. I mean, it's almost like a bragging thing."
Yeah, I did the MMA. I've gone 200 mile an hour on a motorcycle. I haven't hit 200 in a car yet. I got to get that done. I was going to go to the Texas Mile and do that, but my buddy is building a Bonneville salt flat bike for us. So we're going to try to next year. We're going to try to set the world record in a Harley Buell for the Harley class. So
Shannon, I know a really good life insurance guy. Shannon. This guy.
Rocha said, I heard Dos Equis needs a new guy.
Yeah, but this is a real human being. The other guy was an actor. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna do the Bonneville salt thing, the pilot thing, I just try to do as much as possible. But the 200 mile an hour in a car, I'd really like to hit that. So we'll probably have to go to the Texas Mile and we'll have to figure that out. But yeah.
There you go.
I can only imagine 200.
Well, guys, that is.
I've done 182. I've been at 182, but I wasn't able to push to 200. And that was on a normal road, by the way.
Could be Vern.
There you go. Big
That's
Vern?
right.
The most interesting man in the world.
Dude,
all right,
I'm
guys. Well, I
telling
appreciate
you.
you having me on.
All right, Big
I'm gonna
Vern.
I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna make supper super late, eat some steak and some shrimp, and have a good night, man.
Thank
All
you
right.
Good luck,
again.
bud.
Good
All right,
luck.
talk to you later.
Handle
Bye.
your business, man. Thank you, Big Vern. What a class act. Big hand of applause for Big Vern. Yeah, how that dude puts up with us, I don't know. But he's so solid and so good to us. We got to walk him out. We got to walk him out of one of his bouts, Rafa. I think
Hopefully.
it's only $5,000 a piece. 10 grand to walk him out.
Oh,
Is that how much it was? Remember, there's a package.
it was something like that. Yeah, it was a package for it.
Yeah, you could. And shoot, dude, that just might be something.
Maybe for the next title bout.
Yeah, title.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna start saving my pennies, man.
Title
Rafa.
bout would probably be in Vegas.
In Vegas, Super Bowl. Tom Brady will be there. Max Crosby will be there because the Raiders aren't going to be playing in the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah, the whole team will be there. The whole team will be there.
and they're going to be like, who are these two skinny dudes with skin that needs to be tightened up that are walking out Big Vern? But we need to handle that, guys. I missed doing this last week. A big shout out to Big Vern, his whole family, Shannon. Any last words, anybody? Eddie, money,
Man.
baby.
Feeling good.
That's
Everything good.
You got any blue chips? Any gems you want to throw out to us for the final World World Cup?
PSG is going to win that game.
Really?
PSG is going to lift that trophy, and it'll be their fourth major trophy of the year. Because they swept their French league. They won the French league. They won their French Cup. They won the Champions League, and they look like they are going to win this thing. They face Chelsea on Sunday in New Jersey. PSG is just right now the best team on the planet. So
Chelsea look good, man. Chelsea look good.
Chelsea look good. They look good, but PSG, man, what they did today,
great.
Real Madrid, man, it was 3-0, and fucking Real Madrid didn't know what the fuck was going on. It's like they walked onto that field, and PSG just fucking power slapped the fuck out of them.
I have it recorded. I have it recorded. I'm bummed out I didn't get to see it.
Actually, I did forget something. We have something going on Friday. We have Eddie's birthday on Friday. Wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday,
Who?
Ed. 7-11.
Yours.
Eddie's birthday.
Oh, people don't know my name.
Eddie's birthday is on the day where 7-Eleven gives out free
7-Eleven.
Slurpees. So make sure you wish Eddie a happy birthday and get yourself a free
Gets the
Slurpee.
free Slurpee.
You go to 7-Eleven, say, I know Eddie Santiago. He said I can get a free Slurpee.
He said I can get a Slurpee on him.
It's
And done.
on me. And yeah. No, I appreciate it, guys. I can't wait to play. I haven't played golf with Rafa in forever. So hopefully we can do that soon, Rafa. I'd love to take Eddie money out. But other than that, Rafa, you got anything? You have PSG. The
PSG
line
on
has to
Sunday?
be 1.5.
No. Eddie Money, I don't know if you have a line.
Let's see.
Let's make a clip out of this, man.
By the way, next week is the fucking Open Championship, baby.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know what that means? That means you got
go.
fucking golf at 4 a.m. next Thursday on the West Coast. 4 a.m.
Claret-
golf. You might even get 1 a.m. tee times actually to start off on Thursday.
Oh, and trust me, we watching this shit. The claret
100%.
jug.
100%.
Okay. For the FIFA Club World Cup, PSG Chelsea, the spread's -1. They're -175 on the money line to finish to win in first 90.
like
PSG, man, they're on another level right now. They're the best team in the world, and they had the best team in the world right now. And you have to remember that this team at one point had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and weren't able to fucking get to a final.
Wow.
And here they are after just winning the Champions League final last month, and now possibly winning the Club World Cup. And people can say, you know what, not everyone played and da-da-da-da-da and so on. Real Madrid put out a squad out there to try and beat them. and they were literally power slap for the first fucking 25 minutes.
Just,
They
I mean,
were just annihilated.
like you said, Rafa, like 2-3 years ago, PSG was supposed to be this big thing, and it never came to a fruition. And now here they are, the dominance that everyone thought they would be dominant 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and they've had a phenomenal season. So they've had a phenomenal 11 months or 10 months. So good. I think PSG wins it. I think they lift the trophy on Sunday. So
Would you consider
early-
this? Would you consider this tournament a success? Should it be held other places than
So I
the United States?
I think that. Well, and I just don't know. I don't want to consider it a success because a lot of the players have complained about it, right? Like it's just too much because these guys they're playing in multiple. They're playing in their league. They're playing technically three tournaments through the season. If you look at it, right? They're
crazy.
And we're talking about the elite teams. We're talking about the top 4 teams in England, the top 4 teams in Germany, Italy, and Spain.
Yeah.
They're playing. So you had Bayern, PSG, Manchester City. All those teams were in the Champions League, and there's another handful that I didn't name that were in this tournament as well. So you've had those teams now consistently playing basically since the end of August of last year, in the middle of August, and then now think about it. If you look at PSG squad, they're gonna have very small vacation window here because they still have. They might have some friendlies coming up. They some of these teams go into China and they'll have a couple friendlies. U.S. usually has friendlies. They had the Club World Cup, so they're not going to have that. They shouldn't have a U.S. tour this year. We're already in July. So, but these teams have been playing. PSG and Chelsea have been playing basically since August, and PSG's played. I don't know. You can argue probably the most games that a squad has played in 10 or 11 months. It has to be. So, but
I hate to ask you more. I hate to ask you more questions about it, but what's the financial gain for these guys playing this?
Well, I mean, they're making money. They're making money. There's no doubt about it. And their squads are so big. You're carrying a big squad, and all of those guys on the squad, whether it's if they're in a reserve, they're on the reserve team or not, or some guys won't be on the roster for this weekend. They won't be in on the reserves for this game, but that have played a ton of games. So this kind of gave them, at least early on, it gave an opportunity to a lot of guys that weren't really playing in the regular season as much, that were maybe getting, that weren't getting starts, but were maybe getting 15, 20 minutes. So they've gotten to see a lot more action. Now, obviously, the last handful of games are win or go home games. So now you're kind of getting, you weren't really seeing Dembele start too many Club World Cup games.
Or who scored 2 goals in the other semifinal from Chelsea? That's the first game he started, and he's a damn superstar.
Yeah, so
now.
they're getting a lot of the guys who don't get exposure in the regular season. They're getting that. Those are the guys that are getting exposure in their second game of the week, in their whether it's the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or whatever it's called in England and stuff like that. So those guys are getting exposure, which is great. But at the end of the day, now you're in a final. You're right. And you're in a final and you're going to see you should see PSG's best 11, or at least 9 of their best 11 out there. And you'll get Chelsea. You should get Chelsea's 10 or best 11 out there. For Sunday. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to be a great game, but I just think PSG right now is they're doing crazy work.
If you had to grab some value on that, would you do their spread, the total, or the money lines? -1's the spread. The money line's -175 for first 90, and the over/under is 3.
I'm never doing -175 in a championship game, in a title game, because the game could go to overtime. You could have fucking Chelsea sit back. That's not their style, but you could have them sit back and maybe if they sneak in with an early goal early and then kind of sit back, and the game could go 1-1 and then you get overtime. So those to pay 175, I'm not a fan of paying 175, not in a title game. Just like the over. Sometimes for me, it depends on how the teams come out. If the game's, the game starts really open, fucking hop on a live bet and maybe take the over. But sometimes the games are tight. Guys, buttholes get a lot tighter in title games. We see. I'm serious.
Biggity.
You see it a lot in game set, and you see it a lot.
Not
in game
Jays.
Not Jays. Loosen them up.
Not
like a man.
Jays. Not Jays. No, it's Jays for sure. No, but you see a lot of games in game sevens in the NBA finals. You see a lot of unders in hockey in game sevens in the playoffs. Or it doesn't matter what series it's in. You always see that, they get tighter. And so the total usually the overs, it's harder to come by. So, but I think PSG, I think they lift this trophy on Sunday.
All right, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, man.
Love you guys. We will go over the Open tournament on Wednesday. Maybe we could do two. I would love to get a lot of Open tournament content out next week for the people. But love you guys. See you next week.
Yes,
See
sir.
you guys next week. Make sure you have 2 hands on that
The
wiener.
wiener.
Good luck, Big Vern. Good luck, man.
Good luck,
All right.
Big Vern. Later.